Morning, folks. Morning. How you all doing? Oh, let's turn that down. Don't want that feedback on the mic. All right. Hopefully, lots of you nailed this short overnight. Unfortunately, I was asleep, but I had you prepared for it. All right. We went over this both in the newsletter and on stream yesterday. We made it very, very clear. I was looking for a failed breakout between 25,000 and the previous week value area low for a return back to this level. So unfortunately, the trade that I patiently waited for to be set up today from yesterday's volume has been and gone. All right, so we need to have next trade mentality. We can't sleep on it too long. But here you go, very simply. All right, this is why we let inside days play out on the daily. All right, off the 50, off the Bollinger, inside day, failed breakout. Where's the trap volume that we talked about? All these buyers remain trapped. You can't be overly bullish here. Kept telling you it over and over and over again. There's the failed breakout overnight. News helped it. And we come down and sweep the lows. That's a 500 odd point move. All right. So if you were trading London or Asia, you should have a lot of fun in that. That's a really, really obvious, nice move. This is what we look for on inside days. All right. Big move. Build liquidity, fail breakout, back to the downside. Now, the question now is, do bulls now come in and take control? Because now we've retested this low. That's the key principle here. We've retested this low. If bulls want to take control, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not convinced they do, but if they want to take control, they will need to bid off this, reclaim the 25,000 and build some liquidity out above this level for a session or two now for a retest of the highs. It's worth noting that on the dailies now, we have the Bollingers starting to tighten. We have convergence of the 5-day, 20-day. We are going to get very, very tight in here soon, just like we did here, and then have expansion. All right. Same kind of principle is going to start happening. We're seeing the squeeze start. If we have more downside today, we're obviously going to target the gap. There's a big old gap there. If we get acceptance under the 50-day, then we're going to target a bigger follow through, not necessarily today, but in the next few sessions to come and test some of these yearly levels. Huge amount of liquidity sat at 23,800, 23,500, 23,200, and 23,000. All right, so huge be to the downside if the market gives follow through. Not convinced we're going to get much follow through this week, but let's just see, folks. We've got to be willing to play both sides because the daily's done the same. Moving to the hourly so we can get a little bit more edge here as always. You can see all this. There we go. Okay, so hourly, yesterday, like we talked about. Very simple. Looking for a 2-leg to finish on that pullback. Big sell. 2-leg. 1, 2. Failure. Failed breakout into previous weekly value area low. Every buyer is trapped overhead and sell. Right, that is your A+ layup trade. That is as easy and as good as they get. That's why I was prepared for it. Unfortunately, these absolute buggers have done it while I've been asleep. But you can see if you go back and watch the stream or read the newsletter, that's what I was looking for this week. This is a money maker right here. When you see a big sell and a grind back in, and all you see everyone on social media, we're going back to all-time highs. Yeah. Shut up. The volume's trapped, all right? Play what is in front of you, not what people are saying. That's the move. Unfortunately, like I said, the easy move is this leg into here. We don't know if this is going to continue lower now. What we do know is selling down here is not ideal, all right? It's not ideal. So we're going to have to play structure. Where do we have buyers now trapped? Now I'd say they're trapped above 750, 725, 750. So if we see a grind back up into 750 or 725, that kind of area, and it's protected, then I expect a retest of the overnight low. That's a 250 point move there if they allow it. If we break that low, we can go for gap fill. First stop we're looking at is 400, then we're looking for Friday's low. All right, so I'm looking for this potentially. It's very possible they do this and they put a double bottom here and save it. All right, and if they do that, or if they come up here and reclaim 745, 750, I'd be very careful because we're back in range. What do we expect in here? Liquidity build. Now, if they create liquidity in here after this breakdown, then they're going to build this for a session or two, and they have this slingshot up here then available once they reclaim 25,000, right? Again, we went over all of these yesterday and in the newsletter. The easy move's definitely gone this morning. So I'd like a retracement. I'd like to see, if I'm going to look for sellers, I want to see 720, 750, 725 protected. Simple as that. They will need to protect it. Any move back inside here where they produce a high low here, it is possible for a long up here. I don't love that trade because we're back in range. As you know, I hate range. I like failed breakouts, trap traders for moves. If I'm convinced we've got bulls bears trapped down here, then I'll consider that move up, but it's not as nice. So that's what I'm looking at today. Take your eyes up here onto a 5 minute. You'll just see how we created this squeeze. All right, squeeze up. Bulls came flying in here. If you watch the volume and the delta on this move, it was very, very big to the buy side. There's your failure to make a new high. There's the trapped volume, and this is the start of the puke. It always starts the same way. All right, trap volume at high, puke down to key level, failing to reclaim, retest, breakout retest, and sell. Right, into gap. We are now into that gap. If you're looking at this volume here, it's just sort of 770, and obviously the low and point of control right now, 645. So I'm interested in this level here, this level here, this level here. Yeah. This level here is what I'm interested in. Might float a little bit above and then come back and fail. Might float above, pull back and hold, and it would be bullish. But that's the level I'm really interested in at the moment. If we can get up there, we might not be able to get up there and then have to readjust. Okay. So same score here. You know the score. You can see what we've done. Like I talked about, signature move at the highs. All right, zoom this in at the highs. Where is your biggest buying volume? It's right at the high, which means those buyers got stuck up there. All right, that's what we look for, that kind of divergence, that volume delta divergence for those reversals. Exactly like, in fact, if you did the videos the last few weeks on reversals, this is about as good as you are going to get, people. All right, trap volume, break down, and move away from it. Trap volume, break down, retest, and move away from it. It's the same story. All right, let's check the ES, and then we're going to go through the MAG and everything else. ES going to be the same story. Yeah, exactly the same story, trading into its gap. So if you're trading ES today, I'd be watching this kind of level here. This kind of level here, sort of 650s, 665s if they reject it. This right here, 6.6, all right, is a huge pivot on the monthly. And it's also your rollover, all right, when we rolled over to the new contract. So they're protecting that rollover gap. If we start getting stuck under 6.6s, there's potential for more downside. So you can set a price alert there, but that's kind of what I'm looking at, sort of where you are. You can move this down, I'd say something like this. All right, this is the current range of liquidity being built. All right, reclaim this, squeeze as possible to top side. Fail breakout of here, back underside, use it as supply, back to 6.6. Fail 6.6, wash down. Under here, you can also have one of these. All right, these are the levels we're playing to, just back and forth between the levels. Let's have a look at the VIX and everything else. Surprise, surprise, gap up on the VIX. All right, starting to build above this key level now. Let's move out to a 4 hour. Yeah, this is starting to get dangerous. This was very, very obvious yesterday for me, but some people just get too zoomed in to absolute nonsense. All right, this is a breakout. Yesterday retested, held. This probably wants to squeeze now. All right, if it can get going, if we go risk off and we get one of these, it is night market. I'm telling you, there's so many trapped players above. It will take time to develop. I doubt it happens in a session. But really, for bulls to come back on parade, you've got to come back into these 17s. You've got to get back into this kind of safety net. All the time we start doing this on the VIX, it is good night market. All right, that is not a good sign. Remember, today we have news. We have Powell at 12:25, I want to say. So just be aware of that. Right, let's go through the mag. So you would imagine lots of this gapping down, but lots of it inside. So Apple still inside Friday, just gapping down slightly versus Monday. Amazon's filled its gap, so it's a Friday sell, gaps up Monday, back down through its gap on Tuesday, so heavy there. Goog. So sold off Friday, nice drive up Monday, back into trying to hold Monday's lows. If it gets under that, it's going to go back in for that gap fill. Just in a range. Remember, Goog's been very, very weak. It's trying to find a bottom at the moment. Meta, same story as Apple, right? Friday sell-off, Monday gap up, sideways yesterday, gapping down today, leaving Monday's buyers trapped right now. That's the key for me. If we leave Monday buyers trapped, we can move further down. Microsoft, Friday sell-off, Monday gap up, actually trades sideways to down. Again, if these have been buys here, they're trapped. Same story across the board. Nvidia, same story. Friday big sell, Monday gap up, trade sideways, gapping down. Anyone who was a buyer yesterday looking for the rotation back to all-time highs is currently offside. And Tesla, exactly the same story. Friday gap down, Monday gap up, big drive up. Anyone who bought that looking for the breakout is now underwater, but we are at support. All right, and then we can have a look at some of the swings. AMD gapping up today, or it was. Trying to hold on here. Still haven't taken profit. And in two minds whether I lock some in case this market wants to go into a big sell, because I don't want to see this gap fill back under 200s down here. But if we can hold some structure, I'm willing to hold. But if the market sentiment is to get weak, I'm going to have to take some profits, because I don't want to be stupid. Don't be stupid, Alex. Big gap down here on Lulu. Let me have a look. PayPal. Oof. I'm going to have to cut that. Didn't lock in. Did not lock in. Going to have to cut that before earnings, I think. REN still looks good. Oscar Health starting to find a bid again. Okay. How's that ALB doing? Failed the hundreds. Decent move. Okay, 3 minutes left here. So you know what I'm looking for? I want to wait to see if we react up here. That's ideally what I want to see. If we don't come up here and we go straight sell, then I have to reconsider what we're doing based on how the tape looks. But really, I'd like to see us drive out, retest some of those key levels before I think about anything else. Right. Let's close that poll. And let's see what you guys thought. Most of you looking for downside or follow through. Okay, interesting. Most of you looking for downside or follow through. I'd love to see that. We'll just have to wait and see if we can build out enough liquidity. I'd be very cautious just with PAL. That's the one thing I'd be slightly cautious of. Okay, morning everyone. Morning Clint, John Dennis, Jesse, Array, Toby, Noah, Miguel, NRS, ERF, Shane, Troy, Mark, Brandon, Michael, Leron, Charles, Peter, Hannah, InfoRisk, Mike, Edward, Bart, Marek, Raphael, PD, Awani, Priska. Good morning, Pastor TP Test in London with your input and the newsletter yesterday. Priska, it makes me very, very happy. Congratulations. Richard. Good morning. Is that London open you have on your chart is an indicator? Yes, I can send it to you. You can just type in any of like sessions indicators, lots of them. Morning, GG. John, morning. Lou, Peter, Eva, Coop, Omalabi, welcome to the team. Ejecto, JJ, Silem, the Richardsons, Dojon, Greg, Calypso, Bowden, Psychosis, the Daily Tale, Lou, and Peter. Yeah, the bank's earnings already came out this morning, mate. All the banks started doing their earnings again. It was all in the newsletter this morning. It was all there. Okay. Market opening up here in 1 minute. How many of you managed to catch some of those plays? Hopefully. Some of you Euro or Globex traders, hopefully some of you caught that. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this. We know level to level. We can just get rid of this now. POC very clearly in the middle. want to see a drift up, maybe even into previous day value area low if we get very lucky. And then we can think about what next. All right, but I'd love to see follow through, but it's been a big move overnight. We've got Jerome talking in a bit. Just be aware of that. All right, here we go, folks. 3, 2, 1, and here is the open. Big market selling came in there, just absorbed instantly so far. That was a huge market sell order came in there off the open and instantly absorbed. Let's see if they've got any follow through to them to the downside or not. Here we go. Downside flush. Morning, darling. Thank you. All right, here's a retest of Globex for you. London low here. London low here. Like I said, you can see those huge market orders on the open coming on the book. Huge sell orders came flying through there on market on open. Probably a bit of liquidation going on. So just let this just sort of settle down. Let it settle down. InfoRisk caught the short, big win for me. Nice work, InfoRisk. Okay, here's Globex. I want this to settle down. I don't want a straight flush downside because our location, although momentum's great, our location will be terrible if they do that. We want a drift higher. If we can get lucky, we get a drift higher first. We remember we're playing momentum and location. We want a drift higher to back check, and then we can think about the short. So far you have the whole month. Every single bull this month is trapped because everyone prior to Friday was trapped. And everyone yesterday now is trapped as well. This is why I was saying to you yesterday, could not stop saying it enough. We're in rotation. I expect the lower high to be set and a retest of the low. Unfortunately, we've had it. Now we have to wait for more liquidity to be built. I'd also be watching the 660s on ES, okay? 6,600. If that starts getting heavy, I'd be very concerned for the market. VIX just trading sideways. I can give you a readout on the mag. Why is that light suddenly gone so bright? Let me just change this. I can see you guys. There we go. Yeah, all of the mag as expected down. Tesla 2.40% down. Nvidia 3% down. Microsoft 1% down. Meta 1.5% down. Google 1% down. Amazon 2.5% down. Apple 0.25%. AMD holding 2% up right now, which is fantastic. So I'm willing to sit in that a bit longer. I know they got upgrades today. MVTS, by the way, anyone who was in that swing, we talked about it yesterday, was up after hours, is up 15%. All right. So if you're in that swing long, we do have 30% short interest in that. That has had positive catalyst with Nvidia as a chip related to the chip names. I would be taking some profits in there. It's starting to break out, which is great. Right. Still holding here between the Globex level and the New York Open, still just holding here. No further follow through to the downside, no reclaim of New York Open, just flat. And dancing around, what is that level? The 600s, right? Starting to see some buyers try and absorb the tape here a little bit, but they're struggling. Might see a downside bear flag start to play out here under Globex, folks, because they just struggled. Here we go. So if we wash this, we're going to come down to 55s and check previous day into 540s. Here's your breakdown. Lovely. All right, let's see if we can get some follow through here now. So I'm watching to see if we take out these levels and trade back into that open. You want to be risk off as we come down into here. Do not oversize in this market, folks. Please do not oversize this market. Way prefer this if we pushed higher first, but it's not willing to do that at the moment. I've got some participants down here into that 55 and 60s where they bid off this morning at 8:30 a.m. No wash of that level yet. Lots of bids here on the tape. I think they're going to get taken out shortly. is 60s. They keep tapping into 60s, only a 30 lot. There must be a passive buyer down here because we've not moved through him. So 60s, 55, 52, 50s down here. So there we go, starting to break through it now. Here's the 60s. So TP's coming here, folks. Start taking some TPs here on this breakdown and then hold your runners. Lovely. So into this green line, TP, and then down here. And if we snap this, then we're going to go and try and fill this gap all the way down here if we get very, very lucky. So staying heavy, so we're just joining trend, but we're going to be risk off into this in case they want to bid off it. Lovely, beautiful. All right, TP hit. So runners only. There you go. Some reaction here, some covering here. Zoom out this book. I want to see if there's more participants. So VIX back through the 22s. I want to see if VIX can break 2283. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Beautiful move. All right, let's see. Can we get through this block that we made this morning? This is what we pivoted off. We expect some covering. Buying did come in here. If we get through this, we go gap fill. Beautiful. Beautiful. Here we go, folks. Can we get some more panic? I'm going to have to get rid of a bit of my AMD, I think, because if we're going to go major sell, I don't want to be silly here when I'm up 35+%. So let's just sell a little bit and not be silly, Alex. Just trim a little bit, just in case. I can always add back in. There we go. I covered my risk. All right, more continuation here, looking good. About to take out these lows down here, 500s. Remember, ES, I'd be watching those sort of 605 to 600s. If we start failing that, it is big, big trouble. Big, big, big trouble in the market if we start failing that. Nice. Here's the 500s. Lovely. There's the fade through 500s. There's the stop hunt. So make sure you're paying yourself. Can we get any more expansion? Yes is the answer. Can we do that gap fill? Right, gap fill target. Right, we'd be looking for 260s and possibly 180s today if they're really going to fill that gap. Man, I wish I was short from 25,000 though. I tell you that much. It was a easy money short. Look all the way up here. This right into my level. Right into my level. If you had the newsletter and you're a swing trader or you're an overnight trader, oh my God. I will take commissions, please. You can ask me for my bank accounts. I'll give it to you. 10% is the going rate. Okay, continuation here. Looking very, very heavy. So previous week closed down at 97s. Here's ES into that key level. 606 to 6,600 I'll be watching. So 6,606 to 6,600 will be a huge level for ES. Lovely jubbly, folks. Like we said, every bull trapped in the market, and we're seeing them get liquidated. Lovely work. Already 171 point range on the session. That's really nice. Lovely when it starts working out like this. Good work, team. Congratulations, everyone who's locked in some nice, easy money today. How much easier was it when traders are trapped? If you tried to trade yesterday when the market's job was to trap traders, it's a pain. But once they're trapped, nice and easy. Nice and easy, isn't it? Nice, smooth action. Because you got one side caught. Yes, W's in chat. Love to see it. Lots of you with some nice wins early this morning. And that's all we need. I mean, we traded from 95s for that breakthrough 600. And, you know, that's 130 odd points you had. You only need to get a little piece of that. Remember, you don't need it all. Right, ES bouncing in front of those 606s at the moment, like we talked about. So 606 to 6,000 to 6,600 is a big, big pivot. Oh, lovely, Scott. Lovely. Well played, my man. Well played, my man. Yes, I did actually call it out in Discord because I had an alert go off, but I was not playing it. Where is it? Tag previous week value low and rejecting, hoping they keep this up for tomorrow, as this is the failed breakout area. So we were ready for it. We were ready for it. All right, watching here. See if they build out some more structure for us to get involved in. Remember, we've done a lot of sweeps now. We want to see a retracement and then see if we build out. So we want to see some, maybe a two-leg would be the most ideal kind of thing here. Two-leg kind of structure that we can then think about getting involved in for lower prices if we're really going to dig down today. That would be the most ideal scenario. So reclaiming 500s here already. It's a decent wash here this morning. We've taken out all the overnight levels. We're into the gap. And we can afford a drift all the way back up to sort of, what's that level? 580s and above. So watch your ATR here if it does want to squeeze back up before retesting the lows. We've done some good moves already. You should be runners only at this point. If it breaks down, fantastic. We should be runners only at this point. We've got to let it build out more liquidity now. Have a look at the book. 535. So he's in front of previous day. Open. Get a view up on here. So more selling coming here. Do not short this low. Do not be shorting this low. Very high chance you get trapped if you short this low. It's very bad habits. All right, you're either in it with a runner or you've missed your opportunity and you have to wait. Yes, look at Priska past an apex now as well. Nice work. Nice work, team. All right, you can see buyer at 4,470 on the book. There is some passive absorbing going on down here. It's why we're trading sideways for a bit. We might snap this soon. One eye on ES here. So watching VIX, watching that VIX breakout 2270s. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. We might hit all our targets here on the runners, folks. And we get down into this. 400s basically next. Let's go, baby. Pay the team, pay the family. Punish people who guess. And waiting for a text from family members today saying, oh, you were right on that 25,000. Yeah, I know I'm right on the 25,000 level. It's about as obvious as you can get. Why didn't you just take the fucking puts like I told you? People get too worried. Volume is king. Volume and structure is king. All right, ES banging into that low. If ES starts selling through here, I'm telling you the market's going to get in trouble. If it sells through 606 and 600, the market will be in trouble. Like to see, here you go, selling through it. It is selling through it. Straight to the 600 like we talked about. It is selling through it. Market's in trouble here, folks. Market is in trouble here. If they can't respond here by soon, it's going to be really, really bad news. We're through quarterly levels, monthly levels, weekly levels. We're starting to drop. ES is through those levels. NQ's right into a key H1 level from that gap. We have previous week close at 97. So that's your next target if you're still short in this, is the 97s. Still selling on ES. It hasn't tried to backtest 600 or 606 yet. It's probably going to have to go and backtest that and see if sellers are still there soon. That's what I'd imagine anyway. Remember, we are extended from flow zones here. This is panic selling. This is liquidation of bulls who are trapped in this market right now. Remember, even in bearish markets, I will remind you what I said in the newsletter, the snapbacks can be aggressive. All right, bears often get caught at lows, and the snapbacks can be very aggressive. We can do 100, 200 points before moving lower later. It happens all the time. Don't get caught at the lows. Wait and see if ES will go and retest the 600. It's trying to get up there to retest it at the moment. So opening range now set, folks. Opening range now set. Here's the attempt of continuation under the opening range. Can we get to that previous week close is the answer at the moment. No acceptance outside of opening range yet. It's trying. It's desperately trying to get down to that previous week close. This white line. VIX breaking out of that level we just talked about. Approaching 23s now. I'd love to see some sort of drive up here and failure. All right, and what I'd be cautious about now is if we come back up here and reclaim this and leave excess down here, and then we go back into a rotation higher before maybe coming back down later. So like I said, we're extended from these levels. You do not want to be chasing shorts down here. Your short was up here, all right, and there's your partial. Do not get caught here. Like I said, the snapbacks can be 100, 200 points. Just think about this. We're at 430. It can come and test this very quickly, right? That's 110 point if it wants to. So control yourself and control your sizing. All right, 606 is here on ES. It's testing that level. If it fails this, we will make new lows. If it gets acceptance through it, I'd say that's a failed breakout, the big quarterly pivot. Same thing on the spiders. Look at the old low we set. It's the same kind of thing, but if you zoom out on ES and look at monthly and weekly charts, you'll see how big a level this is. It's a huge level. Huge, absolutely huge. So over 1,000 point move down there overnight. It might only say 440 down on the book, but we moved from 20. Oh no, it's not 1,000 point. What are you talking about? 25,000. So 600, 6 or 700 points. 600 points. Okay. Can we come and retest sort of VWAP and the 500s? And if we get through that, are we going to squeeze back to Globex? Remember, we are bearish in this market. We're just looking for some bulls to get trapped. We want some bottom pickers to come in. We want some bottom pickers to come in and give us a squeeze up, and then we want that squeeze to finish and we can play more downside. Yes, rejecting 606s and VWAP right now. Let's see if it gets through 606s ES, it would trade 618s, 618, 619s. That's going to be your over under on ES, I would say at the moment. Some relief starting here. Good to see. It's what we want to see. VIX with a failed breakout of that high. Maybe I'll pull this up a bit. Nope. Trying to get my back sorted here. All right, coming back towards that VWAP and the old low. All right, so that's almost 100 points already. It's 80 points on that upside move. That's why I say you don't short the lows. Morning contorted. All right, ES reclaiming 606s. So you're watching ES for rejection at sort of 615 to 620-ish. It will need to reject that. If it reclaims that, a squeeze is available. Same with us here. This is the block that we failed from. All right, this is the sweep underneath. If it starts reclaiming above this, this will be a failed auction effectively below. So if it starts getting above this, this can squeeze back up to New York Open. All right, this can still be a failed auction down here in this gap. Remember, we've achieved a lot of objectives overnight and this morning already. I'm very aware that if bulls want to come in here in these levels, then we can have, and I'm not saying it's going to be today, But if they want to protect these lows, we can go all the way back to 25,000. And once we get through 25,000, at that point, I'd definitely be very bullish, because at that point, we've already filled the objective of downside. Until that point, we're looking for bearish moves. We're looking for bullish liquidity to be built out, bulls to be trapped, and bearish moves in the market. We're starting to see a rejection of VWAP already here. Into this block. Remember, this was the pivot from this morning. So that's what we're watching. We pivot over it, be aware of a squeeze all the way up. We keep rejecting it. I'd like a second leg first. Don't really want just one leg up. I'd love a second leg to be built. I don't even mind a sweep of above 30s and then a failure. Nice and patient here. I'll remind myself that news. So just 12:20. That's all I've got to think about. I'll be done by then. Ultimately, I'd still love a test of 755. So I don't think we're going to get it based on how we've moved this morning. But that would be the best test. More failures there. ES rejecting VWAP again. Let's get some volume on here now. All right, it's value on this session from New York. Morning, Jacob. Morning, morning, morning. Do me a favor, folks. Lots of you already made money with me, whether that be this morning or last night from the newsletter. Smash that like button for me. Over 150 of you watching at the moment who haven't hit it. Doesn't cost you anything. Let's get in good habits. Hit that like button nice and early every day. Okay, bears failing to rotate back down towards that low so far. I'm looking for a second leg higher before I think about anything else. I want to see that second leg higher. So far we've done leg one. I want to see a second leg higher. Maybe sweep some liquidity. And if there's failure, I'll consider downside. If they start reclaiming, I don't really want to be a buyer in this market, but if there's an A+, I will take it. All right. If we get back above here, I want to be very, very careful, because I know everyone is still stuck. Think about how every participant is stuck. But the first sign would be a reclaim of this. A reclaim of this would allow a squeeze up to here. At that point there, I'd turn bearish. All right, this is the test I'd like to see. But we do have lots of resting liquidity who have not been taken. So if it wants to do this move, that's fine. And then I can think about that rotation back down. Wouldn't be surprised if we get pinned in here today. Would not surprise me in the slightest. And if you like, that doesn't look very big. That's still, 300 points of range. That's huge, right? Normally we trade in this much range the whole day, right? So I would not be surprised to see us trade in here today. Here we go. So back to gut check that level we just talked about. If they get through here and base, there's a squeeze available up to Globex and then the New York Open. If they get through that, like we talked about, lots of low-hanging fruits here haven't been taken out, and they want to come and check this level here. This is your big level from yesterday. And if they really want, previous day value, but that's going to require quite a lot. Here's the squeeze. Okay, ES then failed auction underneath 606 and 6,600, reclaiming that level. Into the 20s, reclaiming that level. So squeeze is on here, folks, back towards Globex and New York Open. Squeeze is on. If we get through here, we can come straight up to this level. Remember, the weekly newsletter, what I told you, the rallies of bearish momentum can be very, very sharp if shorts get caught at lows. You've got excess down here. This is a failure to rotate back to here. The shorts have got stuck down here. This is a squeeze up. Normally we trade in 20 points the whole day. Yeah, no, we have been doing 20-point rotations, but the ATR is back because people are stuck, which is great. ATR currently sitting at 30 points per M1 candle. Not 30 points per hour, which is what we used to have. All right, VIX coming back down to gut check its 22s and its flow zones on an M15. I'd like to see this trade higher at this point. All right, we've reclaimed the levels, we've done the damage, we've gone into the gap. I'd like to see us go and check some of these levels higher. You can be long in this from this break here, but I'd be taking partials here, here, and here. All right, so Globex coming up. So this would be like, if you're going to play long, TP1, TP2, TP3. Definitely, I would not be holding beyond this. Okay, it's still possible. This can be a trap to come back under and come lower. But one thing I'd say is we've got a whole lot of stops here that we can come and attack. So again, this rally, 120 points off the low. You do not want to get in those habits of shorting those lows. Yeah, 4 minutes until that 4-hour candle. Thank you, Nihao. Letting this do its thing. We made good money this morning. Now we relax. Let it do its thing for a minute. Nice AMD. That's good. I only sold a little piece of that just to protect myself. It's looking good. NVTS now 16% up. Gonna make me feel sick that I'm not in that. BBAI another 5.5% up. I think it needs to break 1030s for a breakout on BBAI. All right, here we go. Globex about to be tagged. So TP here if you're in it. Remember, you're playing counter trend. If you got long in any of these rotations, your counter trend, you've got to lock some in. $630, $640 on ES. Not much above. We get very thick into those 700s up there. Okay, 600 tests coming. You can see them on the tape. Big old squeeze from ES back to 24-hour VWAP. There are stops above to go and take, like we talked about. Lots of stops above to go and take. For me, this is nothing more than a squeeze until it proves otherwise, right? It's a squeeze until it proves otherwise. There's Globex test. Again, I still think this has more upside in it if it wants to. It doesn't have to because it's a squeeze. When it's done, it's done. Right? When they've got enough bulls trapped, it will be the end of this move and they will come back and test the lows. And that might be, like we talked about, the 720, 750s. It might be that it wants to squeeze all the way back up there. It's very, very possible, based on structure, it can do that. So far, rejecting Globex, though. ES didn't quite make it to its 24-hour VWAP. Got close. We didn't make it either. It's all the way up here. Right? I would say this here is your pivot. If bulls hold this, they will have that squeeze potential. Like I said, this can be a bull trap above it. If they do this move here and get stuck, 1, 2, so I said a 2-leg. If we fail, then I'll think about that short back down. So I said I'll wait for the 2-leg to finish. It might be one of these. It might be that they hold this structure now and go for a bigger move. If they've got enough shorts caught down here, they can do that move. This is your level, right? You can see it. All the stops. If they hold this, they go rotation. If they fail this and get stuck on the retest, we go heavy. If you're long, your counter trend. Your higher time frame is in a short, right? Your lower time frame currently bullish. This is your counter trend leg. They're the hardest trades to take, those counter trend legs. All right, 1 minute until this 10 a.m. candle as well. The hourly highs right now, 665, is that right? Yes, these hourly highs, they look somewhat ripe to get run over here. Close to the daily target. Yes, nice, Ken. Well, just remember, don't force it. Even if it doesn't come, you can always make it up another day, right? Don't get too fixed on that target. If you get it, you get it. Process over profits, right? We trade what's in front of us, like we always talk about. Think about how I talked to you guys about the market yesterday compared to what you might have seen on Twitter and everywhere else. Oh, we're going back to all-time highs. Oh, Trump's cancelled it, or taco this, blah, 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 blah. Bollocks. Process. What did the process say? Everyone's trapped above us. What does that mean? Once we retest them and get enough bulls trapped, we go lower. It's exactly what's happened. So the same thing with what you do for today, right? Process. Don't worry about your profits. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. You only trade A+ setups. Right, new 10 a.m. candle here. Let's see if this can squeeze out and take that H1 high. It would be nice if they could go and take sort of 668, 670s. It would be really nice if they could visit 720, 750s today. I'd love a retest up there. Can you go over analysis on the trade again? Which trade, Greg? This morning's trade or overnight? Nice, Troy. Well played. Well played, sir. Yes to which? This morning or overnight? Or both? This morning. Okay, yeah, this morning. Right, this morning, very easy. Main trend right now. Main trend right now is down. All right, it's a downtrend. Yesterday, we were looking for a retest of this. This is where everyone's stuck. We're in a downtrend, right? So this morning, our bias was to get short, right, for expansion into the gap. So we had to wait for the market to give us an opportunity to get short. Now, the best opportunity would have been up here. But if you rewind it, you'll hear me say huge amount of market sell orders coming in, right? I watched the tape. We went market sell, market sell, market sell, very, very heavy, and we built this out here. And then it's very simple, short here through Globex with clear levels to try and get down into, right? TP1, TP2, TP3 we didn't quite get to. All right, so it's just a build out of liquidity for a continuation lower. And I used the tape and book map to help me see that. I could see it was very, very heavy this morning. Remember, it doesn't have to take top side, Martin. I've just moved this. That's annoying. 42s. Remember, it doesn't have to take the top side. We'd like to see it up there, but it doesn't have to do it. Just remember that. ES currently can't get through its VWAP. I'm trying to sit back a bit because my neck yesterday, I think it was from forward head on the screen. All the pain I was in last night. Practically in tears. I watched the Ozzy Osbourne doc recently. I don't know if anyone watched that. I watched it on Sunday night. Incredible documentary, but man, I felt for him and the pain. Cannot imagine the pain that guy was in. What an absolute legend. Your POC's already moved, is it? To up here? I'm not there yet. Not quite there yet for me. I can see the level you'd be at, but not there yet. The Guinness show on Netflix is good. I'll have to check that. All right, so they're still trying to build potential inverse right shoulder. Like I said, I'm kind of avoiding these longs at the moment. I want to stick to the pro trend. That doesn't mean you guys have to do the same. Like I always talk about, trade your setup. So I will teach you the setups. You trade what you're good at. I know what I'm good at. I love a pro trend. I'll make all my money on the pro trend. I'll happily sit out counter trend unless I feel very, very good about it. Can the hourly afford one? Absolutely, if it wants to. You look at the hourly right now. If you look at that hourly open close, we're right on it. 77s. Above 77s, the hourly goes green. It's got a shot at moving to 65. Below 77s, the hourly goes red. We can retest current hourly lows. God, can't talk. Hourly lows. Hourly lows. It's a tongue twister. Retest hourly lows. Aid, day 2 back in trading. Thanks for your support, Alex. I got long 24, 526, stops in the money, trailing slightly. Nice. Here you go. You might get your move now. Here's the 600s. If they get through 600, you're looking for that New York Open VWAP. And if you get through that, you're looking for the hourly highs right here. Right, so your TPs, you can draw this in right here. Here's the squeeze. So those sellers are now trapped at these lows. We're using them. The big delta down here, you can see the big delta down here. They're trapped, and we start to move away from them. And the targets ultimately are 667. And if you get very lucky, up into 625 to 725 to 750 is possible. Not probable, it's possible. Okay, there is a difference. Nice, Richard. Good, 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 good. Yeah, I agree, Troy. I agree. What an absolute legend. The doc is amazing. It follows him for the last 4 years of his life. It's sad to see he had some horrific spine surgeries. Horrific. It really made his life a misery those last few years. But it was amazing just seeing the power of music on him, how much he loves music, how much he loves songwriting. I'm not sure what it was on. I want to say it was HBO, but I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Okay, he's still not hit the next TPs yet. Rejecting 600s. If they trade back through 600s, hopefully you guys can get up to sort of 640, 650. And remember, once you get there, you're looking to pop these stops. If you get a stop run, you might get lucky and get a big squeeze up to 725s. And you've got the London high, yeah, it's 750. I would say if we reclaim 750, I'd become fairly uninterested in the market in general because we go back into previous day range. So I want to see us reject previous day range. If we go back into previous day range, and if you're like, well, we're already inside it, we are. What I'm talking about is the New York range. If we go back inside the New York range from yesterday, I become very uninterested in the market. I want to see us reject Asia and London from yesterday, basically. I want to see 725 to 750 stay heavy. If they reclaim that, there is a good chance they go for a mean reversion trade, which will be back to the 5-day and 20-day, which are basically sat together right now, effectively at 900. Right, so remember the battleground is 700 to 25,000. We don't really want to trade in the battleground. We want to trade at the extremes of the battleground. So you could have been long Sunday from 700 to 25k. You could have got short last night for the rejection once it got through 25,000, fell back inside for the rotation back to 700 and then lows. Now we need to see 700 reject. If 700 reject, we have a chance of retesting the low of day. If 700 don't reject, we have a chance of going rotation right back to 25,000. If we reclaim 25,000 on the second attempt, after coming back down and effectively filling some of the gap, I'd be much more bullish at that point. And we can go over the whys later today if you want. We can go over the whys. We went through it yesterday, but once we retest a low, that's a much better opportunity for longs. People looking for longs straight off a V shape, very unlikely with a big sell. Very, very unlikely. Right, yes, doing the same move, trying to reclaim its VWAP. It's trying to go and pop the stop. So it's got a little bit further to go. 642 on ES, hasn't quite taken it yet. And once it gets through that, it can try and trade up to the 652s. So bulls are trying to take control of the New York session. Just remember, at some point, I would imagine bears come back in. Yeah, I agree, Hal. Yeah. But I mean, she was an amazing, whatever you think of Sharon, I'm not Sharon's biggest fan. But as a wife and as a mother, she is an amazing woman. And she was by his side the whole time. Incredible, incredible woman. Nice, Peter. Nice work. All right, back towards that Globex. ES back towards its VWAP. Can it find a bid here? Is it going to bid up here for one more squeeze? Remember, I'm looking for the shorts. I'm waiting for this squeeze to end, personally. It might be that it doesn't end today. It might be that we just go upside all day. Who knows? I'm just making it clear and obvious. I'd like to see liquidity swept topside and a failure for me to trade back down. I think that's going to be the easier trade today. Back to Globex. Back to those flow zones, back to where everything's converging, back to current value on the day. If they can hold value, we can expand value higher. Starting to build up a bit of a volume node here. They're going to need expansion higher soon, the bulls. Otherwise, they're going to have too much volume stuck here. Watching this value. If they drop, I wouldn't be surprised for a sweep down to 64s just based on structure if they drop it. Nothing here interesting me yet. I want to see a move higher first. Maybe I'm greedy, but that's what I'd like to see. Yes, right at its VWAP. I want to see a squeeze out higher. Bulls come flying in like, oh, we're going to reclaim. And then I want to see them get trapped and bears go, no, there's just some relief. See you later. Down. Down, boy. This is what I mean. We've got to be patient now. We have to be patient now. Bulls are in control since here, right? Since this pivot. Bulls came in here. They're in control from here now. All right, they can come to here, and if we get lucky, they come all the way up here. Bulls would be out of control if we start failing here, or if they chase in this gap here, right? They chase in here, right? And we see something like this, they will get really stuck, and it's these bulls who might allow something like this later. And it might not be today, it might be tomorrow or Friday, folks. Just remember that. Or it might not happen at all. That's also very true. Your range on the day is good though. You've got 220 points to play with at the moment. About 18 minutes left until we get that initial balance. Technically speaking, we're inside IB and we have a failed breakout of the daily on both sides, technically speaking. I'm bearish overall though. I will remain bearish overall. I've said all week until we firmly reclaim 25,000 and base above it, which we've never done, never once done it. Get your ass up. Go on, squeeze up. Give us some more room to play with. Man, Hond is still going. Cooper, you in that? It's approaching 22s now. Incredible. That merger should happen this month. I'm going to have to do some more DD, but it should be happening soon. A really nice bid up on Hond. I'm requesting second payout with the flow zones on my Apex account. It's also the account I won on stream. Oh, amazing. Look at that. So you won an account on stream and now you're on your second payout from it. That's awesome. Well done, Richard. All right, here we go. Here's the squeeze up. So TP here. Make sure you're paying yourself here. Any of you who are long from this move here, you must be paying yourself some. And I would expect and hope for you that it can come and pop these stops at 67, 68. We're not going to guarantee it. But if it does that, you might get a squeeze up to 720, 750. Oh, well, at least you locked some in. At least you locked some in, Coop. Nice work. I never even got it. Wouldn't pick me up. Had so many limits out, just would not pick me up. I wanted to get as close to 10 as possible because it's a SPAC. It's 22s now. Ah! It's up 100% since we talked about it. Another good swing call. The swings have been on fire this year, man. Had some nice calls. Nice recovery from Oscar Health today, so that's what I like to see. MVTS I'm an absolute ripper. Didn't get picked up in that either. All right, come on. Squeeze, 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 McSqueeze, and then fail for me. Pay everyone in my team that's long and then offer me a failure at 720, 750s. $15 minutes left until that initial balance. So think about it. We puked in the New York Open, 220 points to the downside, and we've recovered 220 points to the upside. Plenty of room for you guys to make money without being oversized right now. You do not need size. You've had 440 points to play with this morning. Here we go. Can we take out this New York Open? VWAP just above it, folks. ES is already through VWAP. And that quarterly pivot held really well. So they ducked under the 6,000 like we talked about it, and they instantly reclaimed it, and they've gone back upside. Smash that like button for me, team. 100 of you still not hit it yet. Doesn't cost you anything. I've absolutely gifted you some trades again today. And if you've not done the newsletter, I suggest you sign up. It's completely free. You can see Nightbot will post it in chat, or you can just go underneath and click the links. And remember, the sales will end soon for Apex, 80% sale, $85 for activation. That is almost finished. It is almost finished. Code FCT will get you the best sale. I'd say if you're interested in sizing up in the market, now is a good time to pass, because you've got the range to do it without oversizing. So when we have this kind of volatility, these are the times where you can pass accounts very, very quickly without oversizing. That's the key, without oversizing. Just letting runners work for you. Right, trying to take 640, 650 out here. You can see it on the book. Let's just zoom out. Is there much above into sevens? No, not really. I want to see them just pop these stops up here and get going. VIX trading downside into its pre-market low, not into its gap quite yet. Can someone tell me, SPY, that print at 4 a.m., is that a dark pool print? Is that a fake print where we printed up to previous day low on the SPY? Or is that a legit print? That print that went up to sort of just shy of 660. Anyone got data? Not on TradingView. Maybe somewhere else. There goes a poster falling off the wall. Nice, Aid. Lovely work, mate. Bread and butter made. That's all that matters. Get your money. Now you can play with house money or just walk away. Yes, looking for those 650s at the moment. 658. That's why I'm asking about the spiders, whether that dark pool print is real, because we're coming up to a pivot at 658.94, so 659. I think I have a dark pool print on the open today of pre-market, which is taking us to previous day low. So I'm just interested. Come on, squeeze up, market. Let's get going. I'm looking for us to get up here for me to think about a short, basically, especially if ES does the same move. How do I like to risk manage the 50Ks once they are live? Best way to tackle the initial drawdown is to just take your time. Size down. If you oversize, you're going to get caught on those because you don't have a lot to play with. You've got 2.5 grand of trading drawdown. Size down. Base hits. 200 to 500 a day is all you need. Base hits. And right now you can do that with 1 micro. Think about if you took 1 micro long from even here. You're 100 points, that's your $200 done, all right, with 1 micro. So if you took 2, that's $400 done for the day, and just do that for 10 days and get past the drawdown. Do not oversize. If you start oversizing, you're gonna get yourself in trouble, especially in these markets, because if you get a candle which goes 50 points up, 50 points down, and you're using a mini, that's your drawdown done. And you will get that in these markets, right? If you get caught the wrong side, you don't take profit, and it does, just one quick whipsaw. Imagine right now we've built this liquidity and the market does that. All right, that's 100 points down, 100 points up, you're done, finished. In fact, that will cook you on even a 100K account. All right, so you got a size down. Right, New York Open right here. Nice, Sar. Lovely work. Yeah, I think if we squeeze through here and you get through the 65s, there is a move to 725, 750, which is what we've been looking for. If we get through that, previous day value area low is not out the question, 835. It's not out the question, but I'm less interested in the market once we get through sort of 750. If we reclaim that, we go into chop land, right? That's the one thing. We go into chop land. All right, SPY is coming up to that previous day low, which is why I was asking about that dark pool print. So here comes the 650s on ES. SPY 660s is kind of the pivot. Did we pop any stops there? Only a small amount. I think we're going to get through 665. I think NQ's got to get through here. So let's see. If it gets through these, then this is your next target upside, right? So we're about to pop all these here. Pretty sure we have just popped them, or we've tapped right into the top side of it. All right, there's a stop here. And once we stop run this, we should then have room to move upside. There is a slight pivot at 715, but I would imagine then there's a good chance we go and take Globex upside, which would be 750. 750. And this is the big over-under level, and that's been the case since Friday. All right, it's a level we failed on Friday. If you're wondering why it's such a big level, if we zoom out, we can do a 15-minute chart. All right, how we use RBS. This was a pivot on Friday. You can see we traded under it, over it. Breakdown, retest, breakdown, retest, breakdown, retest, breakdown, retest, over, held, held, held. All right, big level. Held, broke down, retested, failed, failed. How we act here is important. Into here, acceptance back into battle zone. All right, this is battle zone. I don't really want to trade in battle zone. All right, so I'd be looking for a failure, something like this up here. If it reclaims, there is potential for a long back up. I'm really not interested in that. I'm really uninterested in that move. I'm just going to be honest. It can do the whole move without me. I know there's 300 points up there. I don't care. I do not want to get chopped up in this market. Very much like yesterday, if we reclaim that level, it will go into the same spot as we were in yesterday. Delete all my little drawings. All right, there we go. All right, so this level now popped. Can you drift up into here is the question. So you're at that opening range, you're at the VWAP, you've reclaimed it. Can you drift upside at this point? What I might actually just do is put an anchor on from last night's high. I'm just interested where that spot is. Boom. We've just traded through it. Okay, good to know. All right, bulls on parade up to 725, 750 right now, I'd say. Bulls on parade up to there. If they reclaim that, they're going to go previous day value area low, 830s. So if you're long and strong, you look good right now. Short's got trapped down here. There's the pivot. Up we go. ES reclaiming 6,600 was the key. And up it goes. Now, ES is tapping into a pretty big level here. SPY still got to get a bit more up to basically 660 PDL on the SPY is what I'm watching. QQQ almost there. So I'm watching the ETFs at the moment because I'm watching that old range from yesterday for the New York session, basically. If you look at the ETFs and you look at the New York session, that's what we're coming back up to backtest, the lows of the New York session. So if you go for a spiders, right, think about this yesterday. All right, bulls are trapped above this level here. All right, that's where we failed from. I want to see if we stay heavy here. If we reclaim it, there's no shorts. Okay, and it's the same on the QQQ, same kind of level. That's why I'm watching 725, 750. If they reclaim it, they're going to go previous day value area low and cap fill. A mega squeeze. A huge squeeze. Getting extended here, though. We're getting very, very extended here on this market for this squeeze up. Still liquidity above it can aim for. Remember, squeezes, like we talk about, they can last longer. They can be violent. Even in bearish markets, squeezes can be very, very violent. VIX breaking down into its gap. QQQ almost at that previous day low. Same with the spiders, almost at previous day low. If they reclaim previous day low, oh my days. Oh my days. Big levels up here, folks. Very extended from flow zones. Very, very, very extended from flow zones. Can we get one more little squeeze up? If we can do one more squeeze up without pulling back, I feel even better about the short. Because if we don't build any structure and we do a 100-point squeeze up, which would be nice if we just go frothy, frothy, frothy. All right, and then just go, oh, thank you. All right, if we can get up here and get lots of bulls who are not smart, who did not buy down here like you guys, and they buy up here and we can use their liquidity, I would love that. I'm not going to bet against them on the way up, though. I'm going to have to see some kind of volume and structural change. Okay, SPY almost there. Very, very close now. The actual level on the SPY is 65977. It's very, very close. QQQ, same level. Right, this previous day low is massive. Absolutely massive. Okay, it's traded through it now on that extension. Both of the ETFs have now traded through that level. Now, if they get acceptance above here, a massive squeeze can start taking place. But this will be a level which will be the battleground now for the next couple of minutes while they make their decisions of what we're doing. We are extremely extended. We're coming into these levels. 725, 750. Remember, for NQ was my level. Lovely work, folks. So make sure you're paying yourself, by the way. Obviously, I've not been in this long. I've said that all morning. But make sure you're paying yourself into this. If you get lucky and we go absolutely turbo here, fantastic. But you should not be adding into your long positions up here right now. You should be paying yourself and holding runners. It's, I don't know, 300-point trade off the lows or something? Got to be. Yeah, 300-point trade off the lows is a fantastic trade. So you probably got between 100 and 200 points of it at least. Just shy of this mark yet, 725, 750, but don't be a dick for a tick. Make sure you're paying yourself some money. Make sure you're paying yourself some money. All right, here's the start of a pullback. There's still absorbing this on M1 candles right now. You can still see absorption. We want 725, 750, and then we want some form of bull trap with a failure. SPY back under previous day low. QQQ doing the same. So that spike up got sold into on the ETF so far. Hopefully, how I'm teaching you is making sense. We're playing daily levels. We're not zoomed in. We're watching the higher time frame levels. That's why this level was key. It's why reclaiming this level here was key. This like lighter box. Do these on a 5 just so I can see structure for the next couple minutes. I really need another coffee as well. Don't want to go right now because I feel like the transition might happen soon. All right. Massive W for Tyson. I love to hear it. I love to hear it, buddy. Runners left. Yeah, lovely work, team. I mean, it's been nice and clean today. This is what we expected. I would advise you, if you're new to the stream or you want to learn, go and watch yesterday's session. Watch it on 1.5 speed. Watch what I draw out, what I expect to happen in this market. We have seen the drift up yesterday, the sell down into range, and a bid off the low. We've seen every single thing that I expect to happen. That's not because I'm a genius. I'm an idiot. I'm just a fucking retail trader sat at home. I'm not a genius. It's because I understand how the market operates. So it will help you understand how and why the market operates in certain ways. Did we just tap 25? We did. Okay, we're selling into 25s at the moment. So getting stuck here. These are big, big levels. If we start reclaiming these levels, a squeeze is potentially on maybe to Globex, which will be 750. Sorry, that would be London high. 750 London high, previous day value area low 830. There's still room there if they want to trigger a further squeeze out. But you're starting to see the ETFs get stuck at the previous day lows. You're starting to see ETFs get stuck at previous day lows, and we are extended from flow zones, very extended. Starting to see some selling coming in here, folks. Watching this volume up here start to be built out. If they trap volume at 720 to, oh, that's a big node there at 707s. They've just trapped enough volume there. Haven't moved away aggressively enough yet. Haven't set a lower low, lower high. Can I go and get a coffee? Do I have time to get a coffee? I think I do. I'm going to get a coffee and be right back. Oh, you're still here. Oh no, don't fail, don't fail. Back to flow zones. Don't you dare fail. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Okay, plenty of time. It's okay. It's plenty of time. We're still in an uptrend here, folks. Still making high highs, high lows. Initial balance now set. Okay, huge initial balance today. 300 and plus points. 304 point initial balance. We look good, folks. We look good. This is really nice. I'd love to see you guys doing so well. It makes me so, so happy. So, so happy. All right, all I'd say right now is we're trying to find a bid. If you look at the spiders and the QQQ, Qs are trying to find a bid on a big pre-market level. Spiders didn't quite make it down to that 658.90s where I'd like to see it find a bid there. And we're tucked in just under previous day low. We still look good for higher. This is nothing here bearish yet. We have got trap volume against this node right now. If we keep rejecting 705s, right, then we're going to leave excess. If we keep rejecting this, we're going to leave excess. Oh, let me draw it for the team. Keep rejecting this, we're going to leave these buyers trapped. If we reclaim this, and I still think there's more. So far, we're starting to see rejection of this. This needs now to turn to blue as well. Okay, and that's what we're looking at. Main trend in the New York session is up. Higher time frame trend overall, remember, is down. We're back testing where buyers are trapped. This is where buyers are trapped from Monday session, above here. All right, so everything above there is supply right now. Yeah, it's just me getting a coffee, folks. When I go to the toilet, that's when you know the big, big moves come. All right, we've got a hot. Where's he just gone? 91 lot at 750s. So that's good to see. They're looking at the same levels I'm looking at, the market makers. Always good to see. VIX pulling back down towards previous day high right now. QQQ trying to find a bid on some structure. Again, not convinced of the short yet. We're still holding flow zones. We're above lower time frame algo. We're above the VWAPs. we haven't seen a full trap yet. And the nicest thing would be to see like a failed breakout here. It would be really nice to see something that does this and then slams and then gets stuck, and then we can play downside if it's ready. If it does this, my trade that I've been waiting for will not come. All right. If it rebuilds over here, right, this is the battleground, right? Straight out the newsletter. It was the battleground yesterday. Failure. We traded under. If we trade back in here and get acceptance inside of here, this is basically a giant failed auction. Okay. Just think about it like that. If we hold inside 750s and definitely inside previous day value, it will be a failed auction underneath. I think lots of new people on stream today, I would imagine. Welcome, everybody, if you're new. If you're joining me for the first time and you're wondering what you're looking at, I would advise you go over to my YouTube channel. There is a tab there for, I think it's called Beginner Education. Go through those videos that help you understand what I'm doing. If you like how I teach and you want to learn, the links are down below and you can do the courses. There's no pressure to do the course. I'm here Monday to Friday from the New York Open to lunch. But if you like how I teach, the courses are there. Hey, what's happening, BU? Good to see you back. That's it, Contorted. That's why you've got to stay zoomed out. That's why you have to stay zoomed out. I mean, it is a big move up. There's no doubt about it. Like 300 points is a big move. But we're 300 points up after selling off. We sold from 25,044 to 24,460. So we sold off, what, 600 points? We sold off 600 points. All we're doing is retracing a bit. If we think about the Globex high into the New York low, right? 733 is a 50% fib, right? This level here is 50% fib. 61 fib is up in the 800s, right? This is very much like, think about what we did Friday and what we did Monday. All we did was a back test. It's a retracement. That's what we're doing now. The difference now is we've filled a gap, or a lot of it. And that's the big difference for me. The Friday gap, okay, we didn't fill all the way down to the Friday close, but we filled the actual imbalance. The gap left to 70 or 24,405-ish. We filled it. We filled enough of it. All right, new highs here on ES. Got to zoom out. So the spiders and ETFs are still trying to get through that PDL. All right, remember, cash through PDL has a shot at going 20-day, 5-day, and PDC. There are gaps to be filled upside if it wants, if it can find acceptance, if this morning's breakdown was a failed auction. There's nothing to say that's the case yet, in my mind. Building out lots of liquidity up here. I want to see sideways liquidity, right, built. I want to see sideways liquidity built. I want to see a breakout. I want to see the breakout fail. I want to see volume and delta spike here. And then I want to see these guys get trapped for that rotation if I get what I want. I might not get what I want. That's what I'm prepared for at the moment. This kind of level, if it gets through this, previous day value area low, PTC, I can't believe I'm saying that, but I have to observe what's in front of me. Hi, Alex. I opened an FT account. What's FT? What's FT, mate? Sorry, my brain's probably not working. I'm probably just an idiot. With that promo code from your video you have made a few days ago and bought 50K. Oh, okay. Oh, awesome. I know what you do. Funding ticks. Sorry. I knew I was being an idiot. Thanks, Camille. That's very kind of you. Yes, I need to get going and buy some more of those and get going. They are very, very good. Very, very good, those accounts. Very cheap, very easy to pass, and very easy to make money out of. as I showed in the video. I think those are arguably the easiest out there right now, I would say. Someone messaged saying, you should say it's a sponsored video. It's not a sponsored video. They don't pay me a thing. I can tell you, I make bugger all money from them. But I do think they're beginner friendly as well. Very beginner friendly. Why? Because there's no trailing drawdown. No trailing drawdown, and it's not capped. All right. So imagine you traded Alex's levels short last night. Imagine you traded that. You wake up 600 points up. Even if this is retraced, you're not blowing up. You just cover your position there and you're done. Right? They're really good for stuff like that. For like bigger moves, they're really, really good. Lots of volume being built. Not enough excess yet on this for me. Starting to slow down a bit, this market, isn't it? It has done big moves this morning, though. 200 points down, 300 points up. We've had 500 points worth of rotation this morning. On a 30-minute chart, I see a gap. Do you think we'll come back down for the retest? You mean the new week opening gap? I don't know, my friend. It all depends. I mean, could it happen? Absolutely. Does it need to happen? No. At the moment, we're coming back into that hourly 21. We're coming back into the pivot. This is the battle zone, right? We're coming back in towards that battle zone. That's 725 to 750 kind of region. Remember, they're just areas. They're just areas. Can we see failure here? Yeah, it's 50% pullback of the whole move. Can it drift through? Yeah. Is there an anchor above? Yeah, we've got an anchor at 771. Can it come up to previous day value area low? Yeah. Does it have to fail? No. I'm not the market maker. I can only observe what's happening and trade when there's edge. Right? There's no reason to be short in this market at the moment. There was a reason this morning, and then there's been a reason to be a buyer like you guys. When there's a reason to get short, I will get short. Richard, their consistency rule is only for the eval, not for the PAs. No consistency and no trailing drawdown for the PAs. So you have to trade 5 days, but for the PAs, but there's no consistency. So if you make $50 one day, $5 one day, $5,000 the next day, $20,000 the next day, that's absolutely fine. On the funded accounts that I'm talking about, yeah. So pass in 3 days, and then after that, don't worry about it. Trade like it's real money. Trade the good setups. I will tell you right now, I was very close to putting that short on last night when we got into previous day value area low. I talked to my wife about it, and I was like, if I put that on, I'm not going to sleep. Well, I tell you, I should have put it on anyway. Not because it worked, because I didn't sleep anyway, because my mind was just thinking about that trade. I woke up at 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30. Funding ticks, Raphael. Funding ticks. I can post a video. Hang on. Here you go, Raph. Just posted it. How am I planning my next trade? I've just drawn it out a few times for you. I'm waiting to see a failed breakout. For me, I'd like to see a failed breakout. Volume buyers trapped at the highs. And then I want to see downside pressure. That's what I'm looking for. Failed breakout, volume trapped at the highs, and downside pressure. Right? If I don't see that, I won't be trading the downside, right? Because we have this low now made this high. I'd like to see something up here, some kind of expansion, increased volume, delta, caught offside, trapped, rotation, TP1, and if I get lucky, I get something down here. That's what I'm looking for. We're building out this volume. At the moment, they're protecting this low volume node. I'm going to respect that. There's no reason to be short right now. Right, we're making higher highs and higher lows. If you're wondering why I'm looking short, it's because everyone's stuck over here. So I want to see some kind of reaction, ideally in here, but I'm aware it might want to come in here. And if we get through that, we continue squeezing. I don't really want to trade this range here. I need to accept the fact that if we come down here and reclaim, this is a failed auction. If we fail an auction of one side of a range, from a technical point of view, you guys tell me, when we fail to an auction of one side of the range and we reclaim one side of the range, what is the next probable thing that happens? I have to be aware of that in my head right now. If we fail to break a range and we reclaim that range, what is the next thing that is probable to happen? Do you guys know? I think you do. Definitely those who've done the course know. Think about Wyckoff. Where are we going to go if we reclaim the range? All right, previous day low being rechecked here on the ETFs. On the ETFs. No, not all-time highs. I mean, maybe, but we go the other side of the range. Miguel getting carried away. All right, just think about if we think about this is Friday. All right, last night we did this and we broke down. Right, if we come back inside here and we don't do this move and don't reject and we do this, where do we go? We go back to the top side of the range and we test this, and if we get acceptance above there, then you would be right. Then we would go all-time highs. At the moment, folks, right, we're here. We're here. So this is Friday. Oh, sorry, this is Friday. This is Monday. This is Tuesday. We're here. Decision point. Does the market want to come back down and retest this and maybe get heavy? Or does it want to come back into range and build liquidity out here again? That's where we are, all right, when you think about how we've operated. So am I thinking about the short? Yes. Has it given me a reason to get short? No. This is a big level up here, though, like we talked about. Big, big, big level. Did we get some excess there? Not really. 15 minutes to the new hour. Back to IB. SPY comfortably above its PDL right now. Google's gone green on the day. Google battling back after like weeks worth of selling, which is good to see. So relative strength in Goog. So if you're long Goog on those dips that it's offered the last month, you've got relative strength there. I would be somewhat concerned about the way it's building structure here if I was bullish. Here we go. Watching very carefully now, because that last move on the last minute was a swipe up high and they might have caught bulls up there. Did we make 50s? We did not quite make the 50s. So still no entry, just watching intently at the moment. Need to see my volume. Yeah, I'd say 17s is kind of the edge here. You've got a little node here down here at 05s. If they trap bulls up here, there is a big rotation because we got extended in this squeeze. Don't you just straight flush it. Don't you fucking dare straight flush it without giving me an entry. Mother. Right, watching 17s is under over right now, or 20s, let's call it. This edge here. Watching that edge. QQQ and Spiders both back under previous day low. So rejecting previous day low for now. Spiders trying to find a bid back up to it. Watching intently. I want to see us retest 20 and see if we get heavy there or not. If we retest that and reclaim, then not going to be interested at all. But that's what I'm watching at the moment. Here's the push up to it. Not there yet. Come on. Let's see if you're just going to reclaim or if we're going to do lower high, lower lows. What's the edge of this? 700s. Got to be aware of that whole number that they're trying to hold as well. Tricky, tricky. Tricky, tricky. So absorbing 700s. SPY's right on its previous day low at the moment. We know this is huge level around here. If they shove and fail 20s or 19s or somewhere around that, I'll consider the short. Until that point, if they just flush straight here without giving me the opportunity of a retest, I'm not really interested. SPY reclaiming, QQQ relative weakness underneath PDL. SPY reclaiming it, retesting initial balance at the moment. So relative weakness in the Qs for now. Still got an offer up at 750, which worries me a little bit to get filled up there. So here's the retest, and are they going to go straight squeeze through? This is the big level here. This is the decision point here. If they go squeeze through, there's no trade. If they reject this and start making lower lows, snapping 700, I'm going to be interested. It's a pretty good rejection so far, but no follow through downside. ES still over initial balance. Here's the snap. Right, watching 700s. Do they absorb this or not? If we start getting heavy under 700s, I'm going to get interested. It's going to hurt my interest. Don't want to get trapped here, so I want confirmation. Add on to that hour. 10 more minutes. What's that hourly bar looking like? It has swept everyone. So the only level next to go for if it wants to go higher really is that value area low on the H1. Starting to roll a little bit. Starting to look a little bit better. Still no activation though. ES still holding. Watching for a break of 700s. Until they like break firmly under 700s, I think they can still trap and reaccumulate here for a new squeeze higher. ES has very good strength here, absorbing. Same on the spiders, it just absorbed previous day low. QQQ relative weakness. Here we go, 700 retest again. Are they going to get heavy? Make your mind up. Here we go. Getting heavy. Come on then. Follow through, follow through, follow through. Okay, here we go. Can we get more? Give me more. Watching 90 pivot, watching stops at 80. If we run 80, we go VWAP. Nice. Nice, baby. Give me 80s. Give me 80s. Not interested in any reclaim. Don't want any form of trap down here. If they protect that lower 80, not interested in holding on. So timing these is very, very tricky. Retesting 700s here. Do they stay heavy versus this SPY now beneath its previous day low? Lovely. Watching QQQ because we're coming into big level here on the Qs. Flush it. Flush it. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it. Let's go, baby. Don't say I didn't plan this out. I don't want anyone in chat saying this is not planned out. More, 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 more. I don't want reclaims of 80s now. Give me VWAPs. Watching this RBS. We can hold RBS. I'm taking some partials in front of this. QQQ into a big, big, big level here as well. 96s. So going to respect this RBS. Have to respect the RBS. This is the breakout point we're just pulling back to. If bulls want to hold this, so be it. If we start failing underneath these RBS levels, underneath New York Open, underneath the opening range, we can think about more. All right, because if we come down there, we're going to go back into pro trend. If we get back underneath this level here, we're going to go back into pro trend. We're going to use this liquidity in a different way. At the moment, we have to respect the possibility of this. But if this is a failure point, if this is a failed breakout, if we're coming back into here, if we're rejecting the old range, guess where we go from here? Yes, correct, down there. So I'm in early looking for it, but I'm paying myself and I'm well aware that if bulls step in here and reclaim, I'm out. Powell's not until 12:25, mate. All right, 12:25. You've got like an hour and a half until Powell. Right, now I can go for a toilet break. Now I can go toilet break. All right, still looking good. Rejecting 7, still looking good. Lovely. All right, TP's here, folks. You got to be paying yourself. Got to be paying yourself some here. Technically, we are in an initial balance rotation, right? We've gone from IB low to VWAP to VWAP to IB high. We failed IB high. We're coming back down towards VWAP. Looking good. Remember, this can still hold. If they sweep and hold, we've taken internal. This low created this high. We've taken internal. If they come back up here, there's more room. All right, so your runners now covering some here. If we get a rejection here and a collapse under this, this will be the key level. If we collapse under this, if we leave all this volume trapped, right? If we leave these guys trapped, it'll be great. If we don't, we respect what is in front of us, right? Simple as that. We must respect it. Let's see what you guys are saying. Which trading view delta do you use on your screen? Just whatever one comes with their volume pack. This is their own one. It's not like someone else. Just called volume delta. Wish we had clearer M5 retraces, then I could have caught the entry, but I don't want to trade against the trend. Best today was the move down after the market opened in the new week gap. Yep, I would agree with that. How do I pass my evals? Do I full port? How do I manage? No, I don't full port. There's no point full porting. You're gonna win or lose. Like you're gonna blow up or lose every trade. You don't need to full port in this market. You just, I'm aggressive with them, but I don't full port. Yeah, I saw that, Peter. I saw that AMD news this morning on Oracle, and AMD got a price rise to 300 today. So I did sell a little bit just to protect, because in case this market goes risk off, I don't want it to do gap fill all the way back to 160s again. Nice, JJ, you got the win with me. Nice, yeah. I'm out of it now. I'll re-add if it firms up. But the fact that we've stopped here in front of the RBS puts me off. If we get an inverse M5 and M1 confirmation confluence, you're going to short. Yeah, I mean, that's in this area, basically. It's going to be the same kind of area, all right? Once we let go of the RBS, you'll have an M5 in here by the looks of it. Let's have a look. That's your play. Yeah, same kind of area. You're going to need a failure under 42s, basically. Can you show what you look for when you say trap buyers or sellers using vol? Jazzu, just go to the last 2 videos. I've literally done videos on it. There's one called Reversal Trading Made Simple. Watch that one, and then watch Wyckoff Made Simple. So they're on my page. So the last, like, I've done 3 videos in the last month. Those are 2 of them. Go and watch those. Those are all about trap traders, because reversals are all about trap traders. Ken, 192 watching, only 119 likes. Yeah, come on, people. Come on. Yeah, same as me. I'm flat, Troy. The fact that we haven't broken down under RBS, I'm flat. And I'm also watching these spiders. QQQ has relative weakness, but it just bid off that pre-market level that we talked about, sort of 596 on QQQ, and it held it. So it's a big... This is why I watch the ETFs. Sometimes it can offer some good little data there on the ETFs. If we start seeing lower high, lower lows, and we break down underneath New York Open, then all good. I've noticed watching these, a lot of my unrelated confluences align well with your anchor volume, and half the things you say I don't understand, but it matches my bias. Key levels. Yeah, you'll notice. So from the sounds of what you look for, you are looking for inverse fair value gaps. Is that how you play herbs? So if you think about what an inverse fair value gap actually is, all right, all an inverse fair value gap is a level of low volume where we probably have volume built above it, and we collapse underneath the low volume, and you're looking for confirmation under here for a rotation. So what does that mean? Buyers are trapped up high, you trade through where they probably chased, and you leave them trapped up high, and then you get EMAs supporting this move, right? So there's a million ways to trade. I always say that, like, it's not like my way is the best or anyone's way is the best. All that matters is that you find a method of understanding the madness that is the market. Once you understand the market and you have a method of trading it, it becomes so much easier. All right, it becomes so much easier once you understand that. So if your method is, hey, I'm looking for inverse M5 fair value gaps, you're really looking for low volume not to be protected like here. You're looking for a trade through it and a rejection of it to trade lower. Well, that makes perfect sense to me based on volume, right? And also structurally, it will mean that this low produced this high, this broke. If this rejected and breaks down, you're playing a continuation short. It also makes perfect sense to me. I'm not sure why my POC hasn't shifted, but it hasn't shifted. So far it's probably because the most volume was done in that opening drive this morning. It will shift soon enough. It's very close to shifting, I can tell you that much. It will shift soon enough up here. It won't be a settings thing. It'll just be how it's calculating volume. I also don't know which is right. It's possible that yours is right, Richard. But I mean, this is building out significant volume. I'd say if we hung around this level 92s for a minute longer, if we come back down here, I'd imagine POC would shift because it's very close. It's looking very similar right now. So there's 3 nodes which are important today. Down here, sellers are stuck. Here, buyers took control. Here, buyers currently in control. If we reject that, sellers will take control down to here. If we reject that, down to here. All the time we're building above this. Remember, this can be revisited. We talked about 750 and then up here. If we start reclaiming, I'm telling you now, if we start reclaiming all of this, I am not interested in shorts. No way, Jose. No way, no chance. Right, big push there on the spiders. All right, look at that 5 minute on the spiders. No close beneath previous day low, and now we got a flag and go up to 660s. QQQ trying to join in. struggling somewhat to get going. Why? Probably because the banks, I would imagine the banks are running and there is no banking sector in QQQ. And the banks all had their earnings this morning. So if we look at things like JP Morgan, they're probably all up. I don't know what else. Wells Fargo, I think, was today. Let's have a quick look. So yeah, JP Morgan rallying. If we go Wells Fargo, I think that was today. Yeah, there you go. So this is driving the spiders right now. All right, banking. All right, they are not in the QQQ. Right, so you have a sector which is hot right now based on earnings, which is the banking sector. So the spiders have relative strength. So if you want to be short today, you want to be short the Qs. If you want to be long today, technically, you want to be long the spiders. Okay, there you go. There's POC now shifted. And up we go. So I've got an old view up here into 770. Just a heads up, I have a view up here into 770 from yesterday. And through this, previous day value area low would now be your next target. So 50's now been taken. We're starting to break back into the old range. There is an old view up right here, right now, which we've just tagged into off yesterday's New York Open, I'm guessing. So the yesterday's New York view up is right here. And we are well and truly into that gap. So rejecting right here is yesterday's New York view up. I'm telling you that now. Right here. We just tapped it. Yeah, BlackRock too. Yeah, exactly. All the banks had their earnings today. So same story applies here. If we start reclaiming these levels, we will get a drift higher. I will not be shorting it against what's going on today if we keep doing that. If we start failing after a fail break, we can think about it. VIX underneath previous day high now as well. So VIX, if it stays heavy under previous day high, it can go gap fill, which means we can do the same, which is pretty madness. Pretty mad. I find it somewhat unlikely. Let's just quickly check where the 61 fib is, because it's probably about now. It's accurate, a little bit higher. So 61 comes in at 805s. I take note of higher time frame gaps where price will push towards in line with trend. Sorry, Herbs, let me just zoom this in for everyone. And wait for the market open manipulation, and usually M5 candle close, breaker structure paired with potential lower time frame confirmation. Whatever works for you, man. Caesar says long 24,691, 20 micros. My stop's 24,688. 691. I mean, your long makes sense. Your stop doesn't. I mean, if you're not going to risk the swing low, it doesn't really make sense, but each to their own. Okay, they keep adding liquidity above. We got stuck at that anchor. 760, 765, 770, 800s, all above. All liquidity. You can see them on the book map. We have now broken out from this volume, all right? So if we protect this volume, this is bullish. This remains bullish. The moment we get under this volume, we will leave buyers trapped. At the moment, it doesn't look like it wants to do that. All right, so we are still remain bullish. We had one short, I don't remember, I think it was here to here. We didn't get a lot out of that, unfortunately. We got, I don't know, 40 points. Not bad, though, actually, is it? And now, once we went sideways, failed to break down, we take it all off. Reclaiming, so they're going to try and hold structure here. If they hold structure, they continue. If they fail to hold POC and volume, especially under here, they can get heavy. That's a big extension, big sell coming in here. So back to initial balance, back to POC, and buyers will need to absorb this. They will want to absorb this to, if they're going to have any run of that previous day value area low. I'm wondering if that is now the target. We will see, which is just above an old H1 wick. What time did that come in? 1 a.m. some heaviness here. Back to POC. Is this going to be the failed breakout? This low created this high. We have to be aware of it. It's very big range here now. Unfortunately, that's a 100-point range. Going to make it hard to risk here. So ES still above IB. Like we said, if we're going to be short, we want to be short NQ today. It's the one with relative weakness. Technically, we're still in a long here. But I've got my eyes open in case we set up. This is still bullish technically. We just got back under POC into a big high volume node. The next node would be down here, sub 700. You could treat it as one big node. I'd say rejection of 26, it would be in trouble. If it comes up here and fails because we got very thin above 36, right? So if it's left, this guy trapped up here, all right, that would be a very early short because there'd be no confirmation, but that could see a retest of this level here. And if they bid off there, fine. If they fail that bid, still that rotation. We're into a liquidity building phase now. Are they adding liquidity higher? Yes, they remain, keep adding liquidity higher. There's still someone all the way up at 900. If we recover 900, it's going to be somewhat wild. What's this edge here? Yeah, overall, good day. I'm just waiting to see if my short plays, if it comes into play for me. It might not, though. The strength of this market today, it might not. The fact that we reclaim 664, if we don't fail here soon, the problem now is how we built out that structure, right? Oh, right. So even if we fail, I have to respect the structure here now. The fact that we reclaimed this, even if we fail here, I can't think beyond this until we get under it and reject it for a new move. It can just be that they keep doing this now. It's very possible because this can be the move that completed. Go back and watch yesterday's video. It's very possible that they're done with it. All right, rejecting that level there. Came right into the edge and rejecting it. Big, big, big decision points need to be made here. This is fair value on the day now. This level right here that we're at right now, 221, has been traded more than any other level. Most volume has been traded here today. ES still holding RBS, still holding volume on ES by comparison. Sellers up here, 25, 30, 35, 40. They're looking to get filled. Are they going to lift? They are starting to lift. So there's a few games going on here. 25 just lifted. Yep, and a bid. He just swapped for a bid at 700. Interesting. Catching up with some news here, folks. Still underneath the IB. ES still not back tested. It's still holding volume. So divergence there. ES relative strength. QQQ back under PDL on the ETF. ES still not under it. Still protecting everything on ES. So big levels here, folks. You can see big levels is where we just broke out from on that squeeze up. This is a big old squeeze as well. Starting to see some selling coming in here. 700 is that key level right now. I'd say under over. Here's the trade back to 700s. So do they absorb where we just squeezed out of? You can see there's a shelf down here that starts at 95. Market gets heavier when we let go of all of this. Until that, and we've still got structure here, which is somewhat risky. Until that, I'd be very skeptical about downside in this market right now. It's holding on very well. Yeah, Powell in 1 hour. I'll be gone by then. I'm not going to sit around for that in lunch. No, thank you. Yeah, exactly, Troy. That's what I had. Same thing. But structurally, we're still bullish right now, but we are into that key level. This red level, you can see it's been key. Right back to the IB. Spiders absorbing off their IB. Watching these 700s, watching how we act. Watching 700s here, watching, just in case they want to follow through. There's sevens. We know it's a huge level, psychological level, big level on the tape. You can see it on the book, and underneath that, you can see the big node. Big old node underneath it. Right here. This guy here, all right? I want to see how they act when they drift into there. If they let that go, definitely perks my interest. Back to sevens again. So we're low in sevens and then thick underneath. That's what I'm saying. Got to be careful. ES clearly holding on much stronger. Back into its initial balance. Do they find a bid here on volume in the IB on ES? Spider's still above previous day low. Still above initial balance high. NQ or QQQ beneath previous day low. Beneath initial balance high with a failed breakout. Above right now. Above 750 like we talked about. So we're at those key levels. We have to wait. All right, we have to wait. Nothing yet saying bearish. We're starting to like taper down a little bit, but we're still holding volume. All right, but it's possible this volume spike here at 1105 has green buyers in, which means lots of people bought this breakout here and got trapped right now. So if we can rotate and trap everyone else, then there's chance of a bigger flush. The problem again is structurally we can hold down here. So we're running out of room for that IB rotation. Unfortunately, it's just how we built structure today. Sometimes that's what happens. If we let go of this, there is chance. There is a chance of that New York VWAP rotation at 600. It would be nice, wouldn't it? We could get an IB rotation. We're going to require ES to join the party, though, I'd imagine. Big buyer just came in here on the tape, 102 lot, trying to walk it back up. 705s. Let's see if he stays on. Yeah, he's there. He just absorbed it. Do they trade through him now? If he doesn't get his way, he'll be very upset. You can see him right here on the book above me. 111 got filled there. He stepped in again. 707s. Right, he's a big boy. He's not joking around. And that is legit. Right, so he's trying to protect 700s. He's keep stepping in around 700s. If he doesn't get his way, you're going to know that he's got at least 200 lots on here at 705s. If he doesn't get his way for a move up, he will get stuck. And he got filled both times. Feel like that is... Where did we trade yesterday? No, 740, 750. So it was a big buyer. 780s. Trying to remember. 780s. Just watching the tape here. Sorry. I keep looking this way. It's just because I'm watching the tape. We're dancing around the 705s. I just want to see if he comes back in. He's filled over 200 lots down there. I just want to see if he comes back in or if we get him trapped. Here's the 700s. They might break here, folks. He might be caught. If they break underneath this volume that we're trading into at the moment, he's going to get caught. Come on, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, baby. All right, he's stepping back in 85s. He's pulled his offer, or he's pulled his bid. Let's see if we trade 70s. Just using order flow, reading the tape here. Any reclaimer 705, I'm not interested. I'm early on this. I'm well aware I'm early, but I'm looking to see if we snap back down to this VWAP at this point. Edge of this right here, you can see we're trading right into the edge. So covering some into these deep pullbacks. Don't want to see us hold this firm. If we hold this firm, we probably trade upside. I'll be out. I'm just scalping this out as I go. Here he comes. He's trying to walk back in again. Squeezing back up to 7s. All right, out of this now. Let's see if we reject this attempted reclaim of 705. So we know his position. There's a whale at 705. We know he's been absorbing the tape at 705. He probably was the same guy. What did we all fill there? 35s, 25s. He might have feathered in. 705 is the level right now. That's his entry. Over 200 lots. We've got one player long at 705. We know that much. So he needs it above 705 to feel comfortable. If he doesn't get that, if we get a breakdown and confirmation underneath 90, we trade lower. There we go. He's getting his way. I'm glad I cut that there. Made some money on it still, but just scalping out. Trying to time it. It might not come for me today. ES reclaiming IB high as well. Maybe one more drive at the moment. Maybe one more drive. I'm just wondering more and more if people keep doing what I'm doing and they're not being disciplined enough, do we get that rotation to previous day value area low? So much volume has been built here now, folks. So much volume has been built here. All right, we will get a breakaway at some point. This is trap buyers, no doubt about it. That's trap buyers up there. If we get a break under here, it's possible that we see this. All right, if we get under 90 and we reject it, it's possible that we see a 100-point or a 90-point move. That's what I was playing for slightly early here, looking to see if we reject that, but we've reclaimed. Still holding well. I wouldn't say it's particularly bullish. It's structurally, it's starting to go sideways, and that is a failed break. But timing these, because of the size, right, because this is 100 points and this is 100 points, you've got to be really careful. That's a bullish move. That's trap buyers. No doubt about it. Participant at 705, which just happens now to be point of control. Funny that. We've got one whale on the book who keeps trying to bid up, right? One whale here. If he can't get a break over 22s and 30s, he might give up. All right, so he's looking for us for a new squeeze up. He's looking to develop a new channel and get up into here is what he's looking for. If he doesn't get his way, then we know we've got some major participation trapped offside, which is what I'm watching. We know we're still in higher time frame liquidity building conditions. Lower time frame bullish since this morning. Shorts are offside down here, but I can't imagine they're holding any longer. And this is still just the start of the battleground and the edge of range. It's why I'm not trying to get bullish into this, because this is all the trapped buyers, all right? This is what I'd like to see back down into at least here. And if we get beyond that, fantastic. If we reclaim this, I won't be attempting any shorts like I've talked about all morning long. And in the newsletter, it's the same levels, right? Same battleground levels. Nothing's changed. So being flexible at these levels. I'm definitely not long here, that's for sure. It can squeeze without me. I can always get back in long if I want to on a reclaim, but I'm not longing into an area where we have all the trap buyers from yesterday. Same as last night. If you got long at 25,000, what are you doing? It means you're not looking on daily charts. You're not looking at hourly charts. Couldn't believe the amount of people that are talking about longs at 25K last night. You're going to get absolutely murdered. Yeah, we're stuck between, Troy, we're stuck between that 200 and 21 on a 5. I've got it up. We're just stuck between them at the moment. So on this indicator, we're printing grey bars, right? So here's your 21, here's your 200. We're stuck between. There's the anchored VWAP, right, which we rejected, right? We're stuck between. If we get a breakdown under here, we're going to come to this level. If we reclaim this, we can squeeze further. But I'm not going to get long into this block. This block is obviously red. I don't know why it doesn't change on all the charts, but there we go. Strong bid here. No, I mean the E-minis. So on the NQZ contract, I'm just reading what's being traded on there, not the full size. I couldn't tell you what's on the full size. Minis, not micros though. Minis, but not, what do they call the main ones? Macros or whatever. Not those, which are like, 50 grand a go. Yeah, you're probably right, Ken. Herb saying, I really want a break of structure underneath the last leg down and 50% retracement. 2460. I mean, that's pretty far down, mate. Here's the sell. All right, they're getting stuck here again. Feels trappy. Look at the order flow above us. Very, very heavy on that sell. Feels trappy to me, the way they're moving this at this point. So just sitting out. We've had a couple of attempts. Book thinned out there as well. Yeah, exactly, Troy. It's the start of the battle zone. Write out the newsletter. Anyone that read the newsletter, this is the start of the battle zone. All you've got to do is look left. Look at the lows yesterday. Look at Asia low. Look at London low. Look at New York low yesterday. Look at that pivot. Right? It's a clear area. We reject this, we will rotate back down, probably at least to retest this level here and maybe lower. If we reclaim this, a squeeze up to 25,000 is not out of possibilities. I'm not saying it happens today, but if we reclaim these areas, especially if we reclaim value, a squeeze up to here is not out of the question. To, my God, it's high. To here, yeah. Not out of the question. I doubt today if we're going to do that. It would have to be later in the week. Unfortunately, basically last night and this morning, we've already done everything I wanted to see this week. So now we have to play for what it sets up. How many of you are new here, joining for the first time? Interested? I'm sure there's lots of people quiet in chat. How many of you are new here? Yes, definitely, Bowden. I can do it. You guys let me know what day. We can do it today if you want. It's a heavy seller here. That 705 is a big level. They know there's a big participant there. Look at the rotation back and forth at 705. ES back underneath IB here. Oof. What are you doing? Make your mind up. Someone's going to get hurt soon. 96s. What a dance. What a dance. They just rejected 700 that time on that retap. And again, and again, and again. We know 705s is the average of that big player above. Can he reabsorb and get himself out of the red here? What a battle zone. SPY back to previous day low. QQQ comfortably under previous day low. The divergence remains. This is the level right here where we've already faded into these deep flow zones. Right, these deep pullback flow zones where we're holding. This is the level. You can see POC's just moved down a bit now. We can't get above that. If we break away from this, there's a downside move very, very possibly, at least in the short term. Yes, I do, Nihao. I do classes in the Discord for all the members. Yeah, Adam, please do a little vote in Discord. See if they want to do it today or another day, and we can do one. And let me know what you want to do it. With how often I get taken to school, I feel new here. Okay, so 705's holding that player. Look at the book map. He stepped right back in. Big squeeze up here. So they're going to try and reclaim IB here and see if they can pivot above 30s now. And he's come back on the book at 10s. Whoa. Like I said, someone's going to get hurt. I want to wait and see who gets hurt here, and then we can join in. Huge amount of volume being built out here. Huge shelf. And it's quite wide, actually. 22s down to here. So like 20 points here, and then you've got a little shelf underneath at 90s. So basically the best part of like 30 points. And really they can trade, yeah, 90s looks okay. I'm just interested. If they fail up here again, that would be third attempt, and we're going to have some form of quasi. This guy's protected, this guy's protected, this guy's protected. This I can easily see happening. Beyond that, I don't know. Based on structure, I don't know. But based on this, I can easily see these guys getting pulled out. It doesn't have to be now. It can be later. They can grind and then come back for it later. What's IB? Initial balance. Back to test those 705s again. Yes, rejecting volume up there. This is massive level. He is relentless on the bid here at protecting. 705s again. 705s again. VIX at PDH just sat sideways at PDH now. He's got to be an absolute beast, man. Look at all this absorption. Oof. If that gets broken, oof. He's having a good go though. He's having a good go there. Yeah, only half an hour left. Nice work. Good work, Peter. So we're short this morning. You guys were long for this drive up. I'm now waiting to see if a short sets up. I know there's a big player here absorbing right now. FX, if you go to the video on my YouTube, probably the quickest way to do it. There's a video I've got a whole section on it, and I go through all my settings. Production on Alpha and Bookmap. Never heard of the difference. I didn't know there's two different things. That's news to me, Nate. So back to IB. Remember, he's looking for a break of sort of 31s. This is the edge of volume right here, 27s. If they get through that, we're very thin up here. We did leave a trap buyer at these highs. Pretty big volume up here. Over 2,000 contracts left trapped up here for now. If we start squeezing through 30s and we let them out, then you have previous day value as a target. No way am I getting long up here. It's a psychopath move. Yes, every day FX, every single day. So from 9:15 in the morning, we go through all the possible pathing, what we're looking at, and the whys, and then we trade all the way into lunch. Take care, Richard. Nice work today. So for me, buyers from Monday still remain trapped above right now. All those buyers from Monday are trapped above us right now, and I'm going to respect that, which is why I'm not buying into these levels. Remind myself that fib. What was the fib? 806. 806, which is pretty close to previous day value area low. Yes, it's going sideways, but it's starting to reclaim its volume. All right, it's built a shelf out here, and it's starting to get above that shelf. 666, 6.25, that kind of level. It's starting to get above that shelf on ES. So it can keep squeezing here if it starts to reclaim. All right, so that guy who just bid and bid and bid and bid and bid, he's starting to walk it up. He's getting his way, isn't he? So he'll probably start feathering some out here. And if he can get a shove through 50, remember, then we're going to go into the old range. And previous day value area low is not out the question, and neither is closing the gap, which seems absolutely outrageous, but I'm not going to rule it out if we get back into an above edge of value. All right, or not even value, edge of range. This will be edge of range. If we bid up and hold this, edge of range, definitely if we bid up and hold value. Possible still, extension here, rejection there, as it's a value area. But I'm very, very impressed that 705's, he did a bloody good job there of absorbing this tape for this move. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. So here's the squeeze. New high day coming in here, and then if you're still long in this, you're looking for previous day value area low. That's your next target. That's your next target. So we're through London high. Your next target would be previous day value area low. Simple as that. Do not get long here. All right, do not get long here. Most of you who are long were long from way down here, or maybe on this break. Do not get long up here. If we pull back in and hold, you could consider it. But again, you're buying very high. Momentum's good, but you're buying very high without confirmation of acceptance. You'd be buying very high to try and go higher without confirmation of acceptance into an old range. Make sure you're zooming out. Impressive squeeze up. I'd say that's mainly from one guy forcing, just non-stop absorbing. Very, very impressive. Imagine being able to have that much size of just offering 200, 200, 200, 200 for that squeeze up. Good effort, mate. Good effort. He got his way. All right, value area high on the session coming up here. Remember, we left some excess up here before. Maybe if we get through this, I'm not going to rule out that 830 move. New high day there made on ES. VIX into its gap under PDH, coming into a big level that we broke out from though at the moment. So bull's winning. That bull took control. Again, flow zones never flipped, so I was early having a go at it. Locked in money though, both times, which is fine. But, you know, momentum never flipped. We never got under these deep pullback flow zones. We never broke down underneath volume for this move here. We've left a huge amount of volume here. Whoa. There's the recheck of volume. All right, there's the recheck of volume. So I'd imagine 705 just exited some of his position, and a big seller just came on the book there. I still don't trust this for downside move right now. I still don't trust this. This is just testing, back testing where we just broke out from on volume. All right, you can see it. They absorbed here for, I don't know, 40 minutes or so. All right, they absorbed here for 40 minutes. They got their breakout. We had divergence up there. They're back testing. If they absorb this, they can go again. They can still go again. Until we let go of this, I'd be very cautious about short. Okay, until we let go of all this participation, I'd be very cautious. and this can still bid up. If we let go of it, it's a whole different ballgame. We're getting very whippy here. Very whippy. What the hell is going on? Is this news? Look at this on the book. Oof. Dangerous, 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 dangerous. Book just cleared out. Selling coming in above. Are we going to let go of this now? Back to deep pullback. All right, I'm in. Fuck it. Small size, just in case we're going to let go of 05s. Trimming some. Trimming some more. If we let go of this volume, it's night-night. Unusual that they didn't take the high, but we did diverge with ES. ES back to IB. Taking some more. Want to be very careful here. Out here, can wait for it to come in again. Woof, the wiggle is mental. He's absorbing again. Look at this level, 705. Telling you, it's one big player. It's a huge player on the book here. That is nuts. Impressive. Glad I took some more profit there. Greer says 100% China tariff depends on what the Chinese do. Hard for China to find an off-ramp on rare earths. They've overstepped. All right, so you're getting like, not retaliation, but you're getting comments on it. I think we're going to be able to work through it, says Greer. Oof. Okay, he absorbed again. Glad I covered into those 705s. I need to be more patient for a full breakdown here. I'm just trying to get my timing on. Definitely early based on flow zones, but you just know when they let go of this, there's going to be no retrace. It's going to be straight down with no breakout retest. All right, squeeze, 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 squeeze. They go. They reclaim those 705s. So just a back test of here. Moving POC up. They're still holding volume. This is so impressive. All right, breakout, pullback held, coming into excess. I expect them to take this double top out at this point in time, but let's see. And then come up here. I'm not getting long in this. Like I said, I do not want to long into the edge of where we have trap participation from all of Monday. All right, everyone from Monday is trapped in here. Just look at this level. It's a huge level. I'm not getting long in there. If we reclaim it, pull back and hold it, I'd consider it. But right now, no thank you. No, thank you very much. No, Powell's not speaking for another 40 minutes. Wonder what money he's making, what that big player. I mean, we saw him buy 200 lots, and that's just what he showed us. He'll be thousands of lots long, and I would say, I'm going to imagine, this is how I think about it. He bought 705, and he absorbed underneath. All right, he's been absorbing. He gets like a 50-odd point push. He probably trims half of it. All right, comes back down, absorbs. He's probably starting to trim half more, and now he's waiting to see if there's an extension. It'd be up considerable amounts, to tell you that much. All right, VIX finding a bid on that level from yesterday morning into 2030. It's trying to find a bid there. If it reclaims PDH and starts squeezing on the VIX, that's when we're going to have confluence of that short. Until then, not convinced. He's coming back in. Here comes a squeeze. They're going for it. They're going for that highs. So 750. So we're still not knocked out 750 and bid above yet. Remember, 725, 750 was the level. If we get through this, we're going previous day value area low. And it can happen like that, honestly. There's so many participants in here now. If they get this break, I would not be surprised to see it come straight up here very quickly. Is there a pivot before it? There's slight pivot into 816, but it would not surprise me at all to see a straight squeeze up. And if we get through value, we can close the gap and go to value area high, which is insane. But that's the market we have. We have an insane market, a bid up market right now. And again, you would have to argue out of the weekly newsletter, what did sellers fail to do this morning when they had the opportunity at the lows? They failed to take control of the higher time frame. They had the opportunity at that point to absolutely dunk it. There's the break on ES. There's the break. So here we go. Value area low. Your next target, if you're long, like I said, up here, very, very possible. Very, very possible up into value area low. This guy has taken full control right now. And they've got sellers at 800. Have we got any sellers on value area low, which is what, 827s? Not really. Most of the liquidity is at 800s right now. Very impressive. All right, squeeze continues. Check the ES here. High time frame algo 6685.25 on the ES. Old anchor here, right now, and gap fill 6694. So ES dunked under quarterly pivot, held, reclaimed quarterly pivot. Looks like possibly wants to fill its gap. Mental. Absolutely mental. So next stop for us is value area low. Can't short this right now. They've just retrapped. That one player at 75 retrapped. So I can show you my scorecard. All right, this is all I'm playing today. That's it. So just been trading one account this morning. Trying to get my TPT account over the buffer, a new TPT account. What I'm trying to do is get my Apex TPT accounts and funding ticks all, well, funding ticks doesn't matter actually, but all over the buffers so I can be in a more set and forget environment. That's the aim of the game right now. And if you're wondering why one of them's up $1 or whatever, I had to flip it to get it past. That's all. All right. 95s, 800s, and then squeeze through to value area low. All on deck right here. This is a phenomenal move. Very, very impressive. Very, very impressive. Here we go. Yeah, of course it is, Drew. Anyone that says it doesn't is just a fucking idiot. Sorry, pardon my French. It's an absolute farce that that's anything else other than people spreading absolute toxic bullshit. All right, they pay out. It's really simple. Stick to the rules, they pay out. I've had payouts denied, and I've had plenty of payouts given. All you got to do is stick to the rules. All right, here we come. So value area low is where we're trying to get to. Come on, baby. And once we get through value area low, I mean, we're starting to get acceptance inside of Battleground. We are starting to get acceptance inside of the Battleground. It's a bit concerning. Let me get a, where was this to, where's 4 o'clock? Let's see where we got thick yesterday. Oh, we're pretty thin, man. If we get through value, we can get up to 900s pretty quickly. Okay, well, you know the targets. You know the targets. Yeah, go Bulls. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I'll trade either way. But I am impressed that they've done this whole move today. What I would say is if we hold inside of yesterday's value or inside of the range into the close today, it's going to make tomorrow a little bit tricky because we're then going to be inside of a 3-day balance range. Yeah, I mean, Drew, that like it's absolute nonsense. People that say that don't listen to the nonsense. All you got to do with Apex is stick to the rules and they pay. All right, it's very, very simple. It's very simple. Yeah, Troy, absolutely, and that's exactly what's been the story of the tape. We can go before I break for lunch. We'll go over it. And if you watch yesterday's video, what we're seeing today is actually what I called for yesterday. So what we've seen today. So think about this. Monday, retracement, trapped volume. Fail at the retest of 25,000. Come back down, use all yesterday's volume for liquidity, fill the gap. We said yesterday and in the newsletter, once we complete this move, if bulls want to hold it and reclaim and then do this and then reclaim 25, I'm telling you now, if we reclaim up here now this week or next week, this is all-time highs. All right. If we reclaim that now, because then what we've done is wash, buy cheap, pull back and hold all-time highs. And that's in the newsletter. This is everything I'd want to see. Everything we've done this week is what I'd want to see. What matters now? We're back in battleground. All right. Expect rotation in here. Expect the rotation in here. What time are you back? Okay. Yeah. Does she walk? Okay. All right, no worries. Sorry, folks. So expect rotation in here. Any rejection back under this range, maybe we revisit this and maybe down here. Any hold of this range, they will attempt, especially inside previous day value, they will attempt to get to the top side. Any base, I'm telling you, any base above this, oh my gosh, a mega squeeze will happen. An absolute mega squeeze will happen. Right, almost at that value area low previous day. You're almost there, folks. So if you got long in this, congratulations. Make sure you're paying yourself. No worries, Omalabi. Yeah, no worries, mate. Yeah, well, like I said, once we reclaim, I'm uninterested in shorts. We've now reclaimed. All right, we've reclaimed. So I have fair rules. This, we know, in here, it was a battle, right? People were looking for what I was looking for here. They had the opportunity, but we had a bid on the tape who just kept absorbing. And once we saw him, we did not battle with him. If he didn't want to let go, he's getting his way. And this is the target right now. So you're about to hit TP1. That is a fantastic... Anyone who took that, like, you got big balls on you, but congratulations. Right, that's TP1. TP2, higher time frame algo. TP3 is gap fill. And TP4 will be basically the same point. 55s and 965. That would be an insane move if you get up there. Absolute insane move, but you're getting somewhat frothy and extended here. ES almost closing its gap, folks. So ES and SPY have almost closed their gap. Insane in the membrane. Really impressive. Really impressive gap fill. Just reading the news here. Great relative strength from AMD today. So I did take a partial on that earlier. Still holding the rest. Remember, I'm long from 158 on AMD. Right, there you go. TP1 now hit. There's your value area low hit. Your next job is gap fill. NQ's got a way to do it. SPY, SPY filled the gap. ES almost filled the gap. And then you got, I would say on the SPY, 20-day, 5-day, and previous day high are basically all stacked together about another $2 higher on the SPY. All right, pretty much similar on ES. You basically, if you get acceptance through 95, you're looking for obviously 700, whole number, 705, and then 711. So value area low, some people taking profits there. You can see some profits being taken here. Still got a chance to close gap. I'm telling you, it's still got a chance. We're extended, but it's got a chance to squeeze out and close the gap. We've got 5 minutes left until lunch. It's definitely got a chance to do that move. No doubt about it. No diggity, no doubt. Take your profits, don't get greedy, run us over. Only, yeah, exactly, Ken. Exactly. You can see there's a reaction on previous day value area low. And we're thin, right? There's no structure right now until where we broke out from. There's a little bit here, but if they want to pull all the way back here, they can and they will. Right, so ES missed its gap fill by about a tick. SPY filled its gap. So divergence between cash and futures there, folks. SPY filled the gap. ES didn't fill the gap. Qs have not filled the gap, obviously. Qs has not filled the gap, obviously. So some selling here back towards the 800s. Maybe gut check those 800s and see if there's a bid there. Remember, we were thin on this squeeze up. It's somewhat annoying that ES didn't fill its gap there and SPY did. That was the same as the other day. In fact, that fail, when was the big fail? Last Friday? That's exactly what we saw on the big fail. We saw spiders take out previous day high. ES just missed it. Q's nowhere near, and then a sell. Battle back from 500 down, and now I'm plus 400. Happy with that. Nice work, Paul. Great work. If we retest back to the red line, I mean, it's possible. They don't have to. Remember, the target right now is to next move up. They don't have to do anything. They can hold up here. Structure is still bullish. Intraday. What was the fib? 806, right? Was the 61? So we're already through the 61. We're into that old H1 imbalance now that we put in at midnight. That's what we've just traded into. 4 minutes or 3.5 minutes till lunch here, team. You'd want one more swipe higher, really. Like, you'd want just everything to get filled before anything else. But we're very thin up here, unsurprisingly. I mean, it was a gigantic squeeze, wasn't it? And maybe they come back down to those 800s first. I don't know. Maybe they come deeper to 770s. There's the 800s. Whole number. We're trying to protect the whole number there. Remember, previous day value has been tagged. We're rejecting it so far. So rejecting previous day value so far. Still bullish. Structure very, very bullish here. Still squeeze up. I wonder if they catch enough shorts here to do the next move up and fill that gap properly. Same on VIX. Wonder if VIX fills its gap. Yeah, it's great to see new people here. I think lots of people made their money and bailed. I'm going to sit here a little bit longer because we've got some nice action happening. Checking the news here. So 800 is being tested here again. If they fail here, they can come right back down. We've got a little volume node here, but probably all the way down into here and then here. I'd want to see them complete the rotation though, really. The fact that ES left it by, what, a tick? Was it a single tick? Gross. Yeah, single tick. Missed its gap by a tick. Is it 800 and flow zone checks? They're checking this level out. Big blow off top that. In that move. Lots of volume up here. Don't just puke it straight down, you buggers. So divergence to spiders. inside yesterday's retracement, inside yesterday's value, inside the battleground like we talked about, well inside it now. G-Dub, no worries. No worries. Welcome to the stream. Nice to see new names here. Love seeing new names here. Yeah, if you're new to the stream, I would advise go through the free education on my channel. It will help make sense of how I trade. And then if you like that, you can always do the course, but there's no pressure to do the course. But the lines, you might be like, what are all these lines? There's probably tons of free education on my channel, which will explain it all. All right, guys, can you hear me? Anyone still here? Sorry, guys, I had a full-on power cut there. Shut everything down. We do have a storm here in LA at the moment. Heavy rain. You're still here? Good stuff, good stuff. Sorry, team. Wow. Yeah, major power cut. And guess who's missed the trade opportunity because of it? Of course. Of course. I don't think I saved my levels. Oh, I did. That's all right. That's good. All right, so we should be able to see everything. Let me just see if we can get this back up and running, folks. We need bookmap back as well. What a nightmare. Always scary when that happens. Fortunately, it wasn't in a trade. Come on, bookmap. Okay, so what are we seeing here? Sorry, I'm just having to catch up now, get my head around this. All right, so SPY filled the gap. ES didn't quite fill the gap. It's coming back to a key level it's trying to bid off. We are starting to find acceptance, or we were trying to find acceptance through 725. I've got to change all these. See, I've lost all these now. Hang on, let's get the volume back on here. Got to get everything back on here now. Remind myself where we're at. All right, so this can move down slightly. This is the edge. We're starting to see failure at previous day. Oh, it's forgotten all my other levels, has it? Have I just lost all my weekly levels? You fook. I'm going to have to redo everything. Give me a second here, folks, because I can't have these being all wrong. Sunday. Previous week value very low. Previous week point of control. Previous week value area high. There we go. It's one lot done. And then I've got to change these now. Sorry, team. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. Bear with me for a second. Where's Monday? Here to... All right. You can see how I do it. Okay. There we go. We're sorted. Okay, so clear rejection there of previous day value area low. Build out of liquidity. Power coming here in 10 minutes. No backup. No backup on this desk. I need to sort that. Prices trading. Alex, is your course online? How you currently trade? Yes, flowzonetrader.com. All the links are down below. 10% off right now if you're interested in doing that. Must be mad. Yeah, I think you're probably right, JD. That's a bit of a lesson there, isn't it? To me, absolutely mental not having a backup for that. But it wouldn't have helped anyway because the Wi-Fi is next door, and the whole place went down. Not just my apartment, the whole block. All right, we're at an old view up here. Let's delete this. Sorry, I'm having to clean everything up again now. All my levels are wrong. All right, so what are you looking at for this afternoon? Well, we just failed. Alex missed the opportunity to get in here. Here's the excess left up very, very high. All right, talk about timing. Left that, retraced, failed. There's the trade back down to here. We expect to bid off this back towards here. If they fail that, we come back into value on the day. If we reclaim previous day value area high, then there's very clearly point of control and gap fill very close together. So this would be your next target. If they reclaim this, this would be the next target here, here, and here, and that's previous day high if they really get going. You have Jerome Powell here in 10 minutes. I might as well just wait for that for a minute. How long does the backup last, JD? Maybe I'll have to get that. Can you send me some links in Discord? Okay. So Jerome here in a few minutes. Thanks, Coop. Yeah, see, my wife just messaged me. The whole neighborhood's out. I'm not sure I'll trade now because it's chucking it down with rain here, which means everything's flooded. Yeah, it's bad. It's probably where the problems come from. You know, LA, not capable of doing anything if it's not sunny over here. Oh, and I've lost my delta now as well. Have I? Fantastic. Let's get that back. There we go. Let's save this before I forget as well. This is just laziness on my part. There we go. All right. So same things. You can see we're holding RBS now. This is where we just broke out from. So this is being held. That's your under over currently. There's your two leg. This is the hold. If they build here, they go higher. I'm not joining it at this point. There's no way I'm joining at this point. This was the reclaim, and it's just a straight squeeze. This is the volume. I'd need to see this retested and hold if I think I'm going to trade up to 25k. And this is your under over. All the time we're over here, there's potential squeeze higher. If we get under here, there's a potential rollover back down, and that's higher time frame. All right, that's higher time frame. I'm new here, just made a 50k account with Apex. Nice, Omar. Welcome to the team. Oh, that's cool. Thanks, JD. Sorry, folks, just trying to catch up here because everything went mental. Might sit with you a little bit longer, and then I'll go and get some food. I've got to turn that down again. It's going full blast. Okay, no damage done. All right, I can just show you so you know. No damage done, right, to the account. So everything's fine. Wasn't in a trade. It's all good. I'm going to wait for Jerome Powell. Should be coming on in 7 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised if he says absolutely nothing. See if we can get a link here. Reuters. What day is it? My brain's gone now. 14th. Trying to find the link for Powell. Can't see it at the moment. Anyone got a link? I'm trying to find it. How does a prop thing work? So once I make 3K profit, what happens after? Just watch the video on my homepage, mate, and go through absolutely everything. Go through everything there. Oh, you posted it? Thanks, Drew. Can't see it at the moment. Here we go. Right, so pullback, reclaiming, all flow zones still holding, everything's still bullish. There was like a scalp trade off the value area low from yesterday, and that's it so far. So far, we haven't reclaimed yesterday's range. Worth being aware of. And we'll get this up now. We can watch this together. Award has been given annually by NABE since 1982. And it is essentially, as one of my colleagues... I can't imagine he's going to comment on anything, knowing what he's like. Past recipients include several Fed presidents and prestigious economists across the spectrum, including Janet Yellen and Ben Bernanke, as well as Arthur Laffer, Susan Athey, and going a little bit further back, William Poole from the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, and Lawrence Klein, who won the award in 2004. We are very pleased today to be awarding this honor to Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell's exemplary leadership as chair of the Federal Reserve, especially in navigating the complexities of monetary policy during challenging times, has had a profound and lasting impact on both the U.S. economy. All right. Let's see if ES can close its gap properly this time. Under his stewardship, the Federal Reserve has I'm not sure, actually, Bowden. I can't imagine there's going to be any comments. You know what he's like? He doesn't like, I'm not commenting on monetary policy. I'm not commenting on blah, blah, blah. That's his prerogative, right? Very bullish today, though, folks. Very, very bullish. Look, we're outside of initial balance. All the time we're outside of this, we're technically bullish. It's big volume on the day. Oh, shit. My wife's worried about an earthquake. All right, gap fill will be up here. Failures will be under here. If we let go of this volume, that is the only time I'd really be thinking about short for the rest of the day. Otherwise, we're protecting volume. We're back inside of the 700s to 25,000. is the liquidity building phase. If we get back above 25,000, not today, later in the week, we're going to go all-time highs, in my opinion. It might not happen straight away, but that's what will happen. All right, he's coming to stage. Let's see what he says. Oh, Bowden, might be before you joined. We have one. I got caught in an earthquake live on stream about a year ago. Who was here for that? Some of you are probably here for it. It was a rough one as well. It was a 6. I shook everything. It's on. I made a YouTube short on it. Yeah. Yeah, I see him starting. Yeah, there's a short of it up somewhere. I couldn't figure out what was going on. I remember I was like, what is happening? And then I realized, oh, this is quite a big one. It's an earthquake. All right, squeezes on for Pal. So ES almost filled its gap. Remember, it left that gap unfilled by 1 tick. It's going to come and fill that gap. If it gets through that, it can aim for 711s. Obviously, you've got 7,700 big level. 711s, 5-day, 20-day. We're looking for gap fill up here. If you get acceptance in previous day's range, you're looking for POC, gap fill, previous day high. Do not expect more than this. If you get more than that, you're very lucky. What just happened there? Did he forget how to talk? And he seems nervous, no? I'm in California. I'm in Los Angeles. Is he choked up or something? Is it just a bad stream from CNBC? All right, gap filled ES. They're going for previous day high now, ES. NQ's going for gap fill and previous day point of control. If you're long and strong, you still look good. That inverse head and shoulder played out like we